housing crisis. Bam. Here we go. Right on. Hey, CJ. Welcome back. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before I let somebody up, but I do see you in the queue, and I'll let you up after a few minutes have passed. But right now, I want to say hey to people as they enter the room, and share the live. But then we can definitely yap it up, my friend. There we go. Copy. Bam. Hello, Luba. Hello, Teresa. I am going to let people up in a few minutes. I'm going to let people start rolling in first. Bam. Hello, Chloe. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Spencer. Hello, Joel. Hello, Joshua. Hello, Howell. Hello, Gary. Hello, Richard. Welcome back, Jessica. Hello, Gavin. Hello, Chris. Hello, Gaz. Hello, Eagle. Hello, Thunder. Agree. Right on, CJ. Hello, Rebel. Now, just a second. All right. Hello, Red Thunder. How you doing, Rebel? It's been a while. I am letting people up. I am going to wait a few minutes. Hello, Son of Judah. Going to say hello to people. Hello, Lazar. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Moore. Hello, Ella. Hello, Roy. It's just this thing I like to do. I like to say people's names and welcome people in. Hello, Coach Evans. Before I let up guests, because I don't interrupt my guests. Hello, Cherokee Mom. It could be both personal and government. Nah, it's government. Also, there is a church for homeless people. What does that have to do with anything? Most people are just priced out of housing, and it's absolutely horrible. Yeah, most people are. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Nova. Hello, Messi. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Kobe. Hello, David. It's all government, literally. Hello, Anthony. Government is not responsible for taking care of the population. Then why do we pay taxes? I'm going to pin that one. Bam. Then why do we pay taxes, Pop Pop? Hello, Ball. Hello, Paul Blackstone. Love that name. Hello, Dubs. Hello, Illusion. Hello, Brian. Hello, Sober Low. People aren't even that brainwashed, honestly. Great topic. Thank you, Harriet Tubman. Hello, only one. Most people know that if you pay taxes, your government is absolutely responsible for paying for the safety of the people. Pay taxes for road. I thought we paid taxes for our roads, education, and safety. How is housing not for safety? Thank you for the follow, Rose. We brought our house right before housing got so high. Very lucky. That's what's up. Pretty sure police, firefighters, and EMS. Okay, so how is housing not safety? We pay taxes to support other countries. Shut up. Housing for elders who can't work or their age. Okay, so housing. So you also agree that we should be paying for housing. If you file a complaint, IRS stop in its track. Bro, would y'all please shut up? Alright, you know what? Comments off. Because I do not care about this Project 2025 shit. Anyway. So. Section. Anywho. Girl, bye. You can sit in the back row. We're not doing that Project 2025 BS. Papa Smurf, you can come up when you pay. Hey,
Hey, hey, I just got back inside, just finished throwing what I needed to throw away. You got the best timing.
love that, love that. Hello, Tamira Queen. I will turn back on the comments when we get the trolls out of here because now people are coming here talking about Project 2025, and I do not give a shit about Project 2025.
Yeah, I feel that. I
Hello,
don't want to talk
Lewis.
about it. Well, we just finished with dealing with Jim Crow Jesus. I'm done.
Yeah, for real. Hello, Hulk. I'm still gonna say hey to people, but like that Project 2025 shit has no fucking place in my life. You can get out of here with that. Um, hey Blake, how you doing? I see you. TikTok will not allow you to hide from me.
You can't hide from me. I also, there might be some moments where I dip out of the live for a second because I got to stay on top of these folks so they don't pick
Yeah,
out me nasty fruit.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. That's totally true. That's totally facts. Hello, Big Juicy. Hello, Don't Be Ridiculous. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Kayla. Hello, SK. Hello, Donald. Hello, Roberta. Hello, Pierre. Hello, Cammy. All right, cool.
Did we already address this person? I wasted time too. That's not true. What were they saying is not true.
No, I think they were talking about Project 2025, and I'm just gonna move right past that. Oh, hello, BJ Austin. Hello, Don. Hello, Betty. Hello, Amber. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Miss Misty. Love that. Hello, Bill. I'm not gonna try to butcher. Hello, City Farm Girls. I'm not gonna butcher any of these more complicated names. Remain respectful.
Definitely appreciate you all tapping the screen. Got us to 1.3K. Um, the host pronouns are on the background. Okay. He, him is what it is. Our topic for today is about homelessness and that it is a government failure, not a personal failure. Yes, take two, Nikki. 100%. Thanks for coming. There are 27.4 empty homes for each homeless person in the United States. So, with that being said, don't blame homelessness on the person that is houseless. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I know, right? Uh, why should it be the government's responsibility to fully stop homelessness? Because we pay taxes. Literally, because we pay taxes. All of our social ills should be cured because we pay taxes. Uh, one who has effort to make to move forward, and one has to have the available resources. Okay. Hello, Monica. Hello, Jeff. Tell you what, let us get some naysayers up in here. And don't
Aiden
talk shit
doesn't
in the
have any
chat and then
content.
I know, right? And don't talk shit in the chat and then when I invite you, you run scared. If you want to talk shit in the chat, you should be able to get up on this panel. Oh, you don't even have enough people to come up. All right. I have returned. Yes. America has sent too much money overseas instead of helping its own citizens. Facts. Hello, I'm Tank.
Facts, Jeff. Facts.
Who is Aiden? Let's see who Aiden is.
Man,
What?
hello?
Hey.
I don't think that. So, why do you think that homelessness is a government failure and not a person failure? When the person that's like, they kind of put themselves.
All right, Nikki, what's up?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up?
No, where I live, we have a really bad homeless in Hawaii. It's like terrible. So
Okay.
like, there's rumors that other states have one-way tickets to give it to them to come to paradise, and it's here in Hawaii. So it does to me. I said it takes two, because if the person knows that they're not from here but they get that one-way ticket, they would rather have it be put onto our state's responsibility or the state that they came from.
Okay. So that was very much anti-homeless propaganda way of processing that. So I'm gonna reconfigure that for you.
Please. Sorry.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Um, if you want to hear his perspective, I'm sure he can host his own live, but he doesn't have any videos, so he can't be here. Um, so one, people shouldn't be shipping houseless people to different locations. They absolutely should be taking care of their own local houseless population. They should be giving people equitable and dignified housing, not shipping them somewhere else. And they certainly shouldn't be shipping them to Hawaii because colonization. And secondly, it's my understanding that there's a huge homelessness issue in Hawaii because of what happened with the oil spill and what happened with the fire. And those homes, that land wasn't given back to the people who already own it. It was given to the colonizers that was moving to Hawaii. So it's displacing Hawaiian natives for American settlers. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much the long story short of it. Go ahead, Nikki.
Oh, sorry, I have to go, guys.
Okay. All right. Well, take care.
Am I allowed to address a couple of comments really quick?
I do want to let up Kayla Martin real quick, but then you can. I'm
Sure.
going to introduce Kayla, and then you can address the comments for sure. Hello.
I think you're right. I also want to talk about something that's crazy. My state, the minimum wage is $8, and I have social workers that have to do like 3 jobs. It's crazy here.
Yeah, and like you can do 3 jobs and still end up homeless. There are people living out of their vehicles with 2, 3 jobs, and they are still homeless. People are really like trying to separate themselves from how 60% of Americans are one missed paycheck or one medical emergency away from homelessness, and 60% of homeless people have income, and 40% of that 60% is employed. Like that other 20% is like SSI, Social Security, so on and so forth. So it's not a matter of income, it's not a matter of employment, it's a matter of affordability, period. And the affordability comes from the lack of government intervention to make sure that price gouging and unnecessary rent raising isn't happening so people can afford housing.
1 second, my phone's acting up.
Okay.
I want to say one more thing. People that are saying in the comments that it's your fault for being homeless. There's a lot of disabled people, and I'm disabled, and I had the same comment towards me that I was too lazy or I can do it, just put my mind to it. But I have heart disease, and sometimes I volunteer at a pet store. I'm not able to work more than 5 hours, and sometimes I can't even work there because my heart, I have arrhythmia, and I can pass out. And it makes me sad that people treat people like us like that, like we're lazy.
Yeah, I hear you. But don't pay the comments too much mind for future reference because it's always going to be a whole bunch of naysayers and stuff. And a lot of them leave if you just ignore them because they really do just want attention. 40% have jobs. Exactly. 40%, 60% have income, and 40% of that 60% have jobs. So it's not a matter of income or employment. It is a matter of affordability. And y'all, please do share the live. I think TikTok was like, "You're not talking about a sexy topic," and kicked me out of the algorithm. So please do share the live. Thank you.
I'm gonna, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna share the live. My phone is very low, but thank you for letting me join.
Oh, for sure, you're good. You if you gotta go, you please do take care of yourself. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Let's see. We got two people. We're gonna see what's up. Oh, you can go ahead, Tug.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah, so I have a house in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and I got a weekend house in West Virginia.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because
Nobody really
is that
asked.
27.4 MPL? I mean, the house in West Virginia, I literally built. We bought the log cabin kit. I built that. I took time off of work to go build it. That's my house. I built it with my hands. And the one in Pennsylvania, I worked to pay for that. Do I own those, or should I give one of those to somebody who didn't do anything to earn it?
Nobody said any of those things. Did you come up here just to be a victim? Because
No, no. The
nobody's.
victim is the young lady. The victim is the young lady before me with.
Nope. We don't pick on disabled people around here. So
With
this
heart
is,
disease. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, with heart disease. Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, it's like not like if like what is up with white people and like not understanding if it don't apply, let it fly. Like nobody was talking about you or your homes. We're literally talking about homelessness. Like
It's their
why do
lack of
you
empathy.
yeah, like why do you invite yourself to be such a victim? All right, anywho. Oh, hey Sasha, what's up? Anyway. Um CJ, what were you saying? I'm sorry. You wanted to say something and then I let those other people up.
I don't remember what it was from before. It was some comments from people who ain't worth two flies smashed together. So it's okay.
Oh yeah, they
That
they probably
yeah,
left anyway. Because if you don't acknowledge them in time, they're like, "Senpai didn't notice me," and they run off in tears. So
it's perfectly fine. No worries.
yeah, yeah, and coming up to make yourself a victim to make fun of somebody with heart disease is like, you forget who the live host is around here. Um, by all means, if you want to talk shit, come get into the box. Some next level asshole, yeah, for real. Hey, witch. Hello, Zachary. Get into the box, y'all. Don't be keyboard warriors. Watch One Piece. Good lord. Oh, go ahead, messenger.
Also, you can call me TK. It's totally fine.
Oh, TK, go ahead.
But I wanted to say, like, to the guy who like was coming here to brag about having multiple homes, I hope they deny your insurance claims.
Like I don't even care. Like this so wasn't about him. Hey Em, how you doing? Hello Tracy. I chose. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, am I unmuted?
Yes.
I didn't mean to be. I was looking for my chart for this live.
Okay, I'll mute you, and I'm gonna address a comment. I tell you what, since you want to be a keyboard warrior, you can pay to be a keyboard warrior. And oh, here it is. Boop. So, Brick Players Union, go off. Be your best little keyboard warrior for $4.99 a month, my dude. Matter of fact, let me help you. I'll give you some assistance. Bam. All right. And here's the chart. What triggers homelessness? And 35% of it is loss of job. Not to say that these are any justifications. No one should become homeless, especially in a country where we pay taxes. But here are the things that trigger homelessness.
And like a full 50%, right? This is bills.
Yes.
So like loss of job and bills
Yes.
is half.
Yes.
All this other stuff is incidental.
Yes.
Like, and all of these other things are probably just contributors to these ones in reality, right? Like, evicted by a family member. Why does that happen? Because of this, because of that. Like, why do these things happen? Because of this, because of that. And like, there are no good rationales behind it, and there are no excuses really for homelessness. Like, as a society and as a culture and as a system, there's really no excuse. And I think that's the thing that triggers me the most about dealing with unhoused conversations, is that it's always, like it says on your background, it's always a personal fault. And that just isn't accurate, right? Like, the people don't earn poverty and they don't earn homelessness, right? It's not something they deserve for whatever reason, right? And we know because like this is actually a little lower than the national average for drug and alcohol. When we look at the actual percentages of like Americans with these kinds of problems, this is actually a little bit lower than the national average.
Yeah, because people don't really become what it's like what triggers homelessness, right? And really those things only trigger homelessness if you are in a sober program and they find out and they kick you out. Those things don't trigger homelessness just because there are plenty of people who do use drugs and alcohol and they have homes.
So like I think that like discussing these things, like, and this happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty low, if only 10% of people have their homelessness triggered by being disabled, that seems low.
And at the same time, there's a very high number of homeless disabled people. So it's like those numbers are small, but it's like when you look at of how many people are affected by those numbers actually get really huge.
This is why this is such a, and this is such a triggering. I've been posting some Food Not Bomb stuff. They are doing amazing stuff. They did some amazing work in the shadow of the hurricane in Texas that made the news, which was really amazing for me because I've always been a Food Not Bombs booster, and I've been a participant a few times. I just think, like, when we're looking at what's causing it, like, that's kind of a side issue.
Yeah.
Right? Like the cause of homelessness, right, is inequity. Period.
Yes.
You know? Yes. And so, like, when we get into these conversations about why people are homeless, it's never appropriate to point to them, right? Like to point to the person. And so many times there's like this bootstrap personal responsibility narrative about not having a job or being homeless or having these other things go on. And it's not a reasonable discussion. It's certainly not an ethical discussion if you're finding legitimacy and excuses for people to be unhoused. Like, that's, you just already gave up any kind of ethical or moral standing to take, right? Even if it comes down to charity, like, because a lot of people talk about charity being a solution, and it's pity for your own self, for your own self satisfaction, right? It's not empathy. It's not solidarity, right? It is like tokenizing someone else's suffering. I mean, that happens so much in the shelter that, like, people learn that they have to token to get services. It's like homeless people masking to get the services they know they need. It happens a lot where like they know that it's the cover story that matters, that helps them get services, that helps them deal with that struggle.
Yeah, that definitely the cover story, and it's like thankfully the internet has changed some of that dynamic, but it's like a lot of older unhoused people are unfortunately very technologically illiterate, so they don't really know how to put their own stories out there like I do, and like a lot of other younger unhoused people, and they when their stories get out, they rely unfortunately end up relying very heavily on like whatever narrative the shelter that they're in wants to spin, or the local newscast wants to spin, or however that looks. And like once they have that footage, they can use whatever narrative they want. So it is up to me and younger homeless folks to advocate for dignity and equity for homeless people, because we have the education to do it. And this is your evidence that each generation is smarter than the previous, right? Because we're seeing it in real time. People in my age group and younger are all like out here on social media talking about our experiences with homelessness and asking for help, whereas older homeless people don't really have that. And then there's kind of like an intersection of technological disability, where there are plenty of unhoused people my age still that don't have a bank account. And a lot of them don't have a bank account because they don't have access to an address. Because George Bush did the thing where you can't have a bank account with a P.O. box anymore, which just really hurt homeless people. But yeah, there's just a lot to get into, and I can ramble. But we have somebody who's like, "Hey, Hakuna, would y'all look, if you're a mod, would you look at the guest request? If that person's name is That's Just Not My Problem, I'm not letting them up." Hey, Hakuna. Hey, Mobisimo.
I don't have mod powers.
Okay. And I think my two people with mod powers are away, but I can give you mod powers. Hang on.
Well, M is here.
Oh yeah, M is here. Right, right. I know CJ is wrangling the kiddos. Hey, Communist Revolution. How you doing? You can come up if you want, but you might have been on live for a long time, so if you don't want to come up, I understand. Hello, Netta.
So, Helos, how do we change that narrative business about the unhoused?
Oh, hang on a second. He just said something. Uh, I don't understand my name having to do with not being allowed up. Well, first of all, it's my live, and two, your name is That's Just Not My Problem. Not good optics to have somebody with that name in my live about homelessness.
Right. Yeah, it's not a super relevant name to this conversation. Because again, my question is, how do we change this narrative? Like,
Well, changing the narrative is about educating people. Sorry, I'm busy. You're good. I understand where you're coming from. Okay, cool. Hello, living. It's about educating people, and it's about people who have access to technology getting their story out, because it's always going to be about humanizing people. That's what it's always going to be about. And it's up to the people being dehumanized to speak for themselves. Like, there are some situations in life where the opus should not have to fall on the marginalized for them to be humanized. Hey, Leviathic. Especially when it comes to homelessness, where a lot of people have very limited access to their basic needs, including but not limited to technology. But like, that just is what it is. So that's the best answer I can give you to that question. Hey, Hillary. So is that a good answer?
I mean, it's an accurate answer. Um, I just, I again, I still think I'm living in like the utopian idea of what America was supposed to be that I was raised in, and I just get to this point where I'm embarrassed. Like I feel like it shouldn't be this hard for us to do better,
Yeah, I feel
and
that.
like and having that feeling, you know, it. I don't know. So for you, like I feel like I in your live and we have conversations that have some meaningful uh content. And I don't think that's just a TikTok thing. I don't know if I told you, but I had a friend of 25 years and I get it that I have become a little radicalized, but I had a friend of 25 years send me the video interview of Dr. Phil and Donald Trump. And it said under it, it said, I think you might find their perspective interesting. And like I've come so far that I'm like, it's like you have no idea. Like you've known me 25 years and you just have no clue. Like why how could I possibly find that interesting? It's like when people want to debate the two candidates. I'm not convinced that that's interesting. Like I'm not convinced that there's something worth talking about with Biden, right? Like I'm not the only reason I talk about Trump stuff is because those people won't shut up. They just won't stop talking. And it feels like pollution in my stream. Like I had somebody send me a Tom McDonald video and it's just like instant block. Like, what are you a bot? Do you not know me? Like, why are you sending me things? Like, sarcasm and satire are dead. Like, don't try to be the onion when you're not. Let's, and it's just painful, and
Not the onion. What's happening in the hey y'all? What's happening in the fucking chat? Are y'all getting rowdy in the chat?
No, that's just not my problem. Is quite distraught that we won't let them up, because I don't know I don't know what your pronouns are, so I'm gonna be neutral. They want to come up on the panel because apparently they have been houseless before, and they want to express their opinion, but they are in the comment section in need of a bottle because they are crying. So
Well,
I'm
like
gonna
you.
go and get that hot milk going.
All right, right on. I mean, like that's just not my problem. You could have been saying what you want to say in the comments. You could have whatever you wanted to say. The comments are obviously open. Uh, let me set up the compare. Oh, Kev, please go ahead. Let me set up for this composition test. I'll be back. Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry, Kev. Okay, well, you said what you wanted to say. Awesome. Keep scrolling, man. It's TikTok. It ain't that serious. I promise. Hello, Felix. Oh, and thank you to Hillary for the gifts and for subscribing. But we're gonna let Kev speak when Kev is ready. But in the meantime, TK, do you have anything you'd like to contribute?
Well, I've been trying to follow the conversation, and I think for me personally, my question for people who have like all these grandiose assumptions of what you need to meet before you have a home or a house or whatever. Okay, so my question is, can I go live on Mars? If the answer is no, then stop stopping me from having a home here. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Stop stopping me, you fucking fascist.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a good point, TK. There's so much personal effort in maintaining homelessness. And like, it's wild that we would spend money to maintain homelessness.
We really do. Like the United States government and like the local municipalities, they spend money to maintain homelessness rather than reallocating the budget into housing, which would literally resolve homelessness. Let's see if let's roll around. What'd you say? You know, y'all can kick him whenever y'all are fucking tired of him. Y'all have mod powers.
He's really not bothering. Like, it's like we're playing with him. It's fine. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
even upset.
Okay.
Oh, Zippy, that is like the worst idea you've had. You're talking about a concentration camp, just so you know.
Oh,
Like,
just make a small town for homeless to live in, let them
like
figure it out.
that's like giving Escape from New York real bad.
I
I
didn't
ain't
see
even gonna
Escape from
hold you. I'd go there.
Tip.
I'd go there. Set it up. I'd go there.
I'm a woman. Oh, that's not my problem. It is apparently a woman.
Okay. That's why I said I didn't want to misgender you, so that's why I used they them pronouns because I was unsure. But she, her. Apologies.
Oh, Hillary wants to come up.
Oh, gross. Who said we gotta put him in a camp? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll like, you know what? I'll play along. He didn't say.
Well, no,
He
it's
can't.
cool because I lived in that camp. So, like, let's talk about it. I lived in a tent city. Let's do it. Let's talk about how fun that really is. Go on and tell me more of your ideas. I'm dying to hear them.
Yeah, Zippy, can you come up? You have the spotlight, brother. Oh, Zippy can come up. Come on up, Zippy.
Come on, Zippy, let's play.
Yeah, we don't bite.
I think we should start.
Oh no, he's at work at lunch. Well, maybe you should focus on eating.
It sounds like you're not a very hard worker, Zippy.
Literally. But you know, it's all good. You know, Zippy, you can come back when you're not at lunch. How about that?
Yeah,
But
I
in the
mean,
meantime, you can go
you
right to
can
the
talk
back
about
row.
my moral failings or the government failings or all the things that went wrong about how the zone or Skid Row or any other tent city is what we should do.
I know, like Zippy can come back when he's done. I muted him, but he's not blocked, so he can come back anytime he gets ready. I do, but only if asked nicely.
Who's
It's all about
asking?
consent, Cosmo. It's all about consent. I said we don't bite, but Cosmo said I do, but only if asked nicely. It's all about
Oh,
consent.
consensual.
It's all about consent. I respect that. Wait, is Zippy still here? I can't see their comments. Yeah, I muted Zippy. Zippy said that he's at work right now, so he can come back when he's not at work anymore.
I gotta drop and come back. It won't let me mute myself. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So, Kev, I'm gonna let you do your thing when you're available, but hopefully we can talk again soon because we have not talked in a while. Hello, Ginger Spicy Chaos. Thank y'all so much for the likes. All right. All right, that's not my problem. Really wants to come up here, so let's see what she has to say.
Okay.
She just really wants to come up here. What's up?
Hello. Hi, how are you guys doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
I just wanted to say and speak on, homelessness as it being a government failure. But I cannot speak for all because I wouldn't say that's completely the issue. But it is a big percentage of the issue, a very large percentage. And yes, I have been homeless in the past. And
Nobody's questioning your legit. How about slow down for a second? Take a drink of water, because nobody's questioning your legitimacy or anything.
I didn't
The
say
fact is that
that you were. I just said I have been in the past, and then you interrupted me and said that nobody
yeah,
was questioning you, which I didn't do anything rude or say anything inappropriate.
Miss Ma'am, please calm down. If you came up here just to be a victim in somebody else's life, we're gonna get you out of here, okay? You gotta find your chill wherever it may be. All right.
Okay, I'm very calm.
So being calm doesn't mean you're chill.
I am
No,
chill. I'm speaking on the issue in the
I am.
prompt.
I am so chill. I have ascended. But yeah, so there's no such thing as homelessness being a personal failure because a lot of people try to spin that into people's choices with drugs and alcohol and shit like that. Mainly drugs and alcohol, mind you.
Okay.
But first of all, we know that a lot of people get on drugs and alcohol after they become homeless to help them cope. And second of all, we know that drugs and alcohol is not an issue because there are plenty of people who use drugs and alcohol that are housed. So that's not the problem at all.
I
The problem is,
I didn't bring up drugs and alcohol. I didn't say that was the problem.
oh no, you didn't. I did. I did.
Okay. I was just,
Yeah.
confused. I was saying originally, yeah, government failure because I feel like the government does have its way in, putting its citizens down depending on, where you are. I'd say a lot to do with, like you have mentioned earlier in the live, not being able to get a credit card or a card without having, an address. And having an address really impacts every single decision within being a citizen, a part of, a place where the government does enable that, which is very frustrating because if you can't use a PO box, to use as a form of address, it's like you really can't do anything, at all. You need your address for literally every single thing you do. Like you want to go to school, oh, we need an address. You want to sign up for cards, you need an address. You want to work, you can't work unless you have an address or a phone number. I feel like that's depicted in also many movies, and it's like blatantly like showing you like, oh, you can't do anything unless you have an address, and it makes it very difficult for people who don't have a current residence or anywhere to reside with an address to even get the opportunity to get jobs. That's all I wanted to say. And that's all. I will be leaving your piece as you guys wanted me to go. So have a nice day.
Okay.
Wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet.
Oh, I don't ask you to go.
Well, if she wants to leave, that's her prerogative. But if she wants to stay and hear y'all out, that's up to her. So
I'm respectful, so I will hear you guys out. I want to listen to what your thoughts are.
okay. So Hillary had her hand up first. So Hillary's gonna go first, and then I chose. Hillary, please go ahead.
I think where a little bit of disconnect came in when you and Helios were talking, the one I heard was you said mostly a government failing. I think I heard. What do you mean mostly? I think that's where I got confused.
Of course. Thank you. I will elaborate. I'd say a lot of most people who do, get the opportunity to have and I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying there are some people who have the opportunity at first, right? They either, have a good parents, a good financial system with their parents. And, let's just say they don't get along with their parents and they leave their parents and decide like I want to do my own thing, I want to figure it out, but it's difficult because it is difficult. The moment you leave your and I'm not saying parents as they have to be related to you or anyway, whoever your person that is raising you, let's just say they start off and give you what you need to survive, right? You have a residence with them, they live at a residence if that's the case, and you leave and you decide you want to do things on your own and you're not really sure how to do it, so you are, temporarily either homeless or you're still figuring things out. I feel like that's where things can be intentional Not necessarily like government, because you started off with something, or let's just say you're a rich person, right? And you spend all your funds, not really the way you're supposed to, or you're not being really good at managing your money, and then you become homeless as an issue. I feel like that's where it can go wrong. But it really depends on the situation, but majority of the time it is a government failure, and I can agree with that.
Okay, so
Hang on a second, hang on a second, just a second, Hillary. So when in human history have people left their living situation because things weren't bad? Like, who has left like a totally normal, healthy living situation just to go off on their own into the big bad world, to abandon all of their resources, and things are going good at home, to be homeless without an address, without resources?
Okay, so I know there's not many I'd say physical articles that would show that, but there are many children, right? Let's just say you're living with your parent, and you want to be accustomed to the adult life. You want to be on your own. It's understandable. You don't always want to be stuck with your parents all your life. There are many cases where many let's say upcoming adults, because let's just say you're turning 18 or you're 17 or you're 16 and you're leaving the household because you want to live your own life, or you decided that you had children early, you needed to get out the house and get away from your parents. Those are some cases, if that is appropriate answer to respond. If I answered your question.
Yeah, go ahead, Hillary. Hey, Tulip.
respond to that. Okay, so like a lot of people agree with your view. Okay, and I've heard it a million times. They like to use it in talks about race and class, right? And my rebuttal to that would be when you have, say, a system where there's things like generational trauma. So someone like me, who was a trust fund kid, runs away and becomes homeless because they're cut off from that, because they're not good enough to be part of that caste system anymore. Is it my moral failing? Is it a government failure? Is it a cultural failure? Like, exactly how did I fail here? Do you understand? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it seems to be there's a disconnect between the government and mental health and these systems that you're saying, oh, you just made bad decisions at 18 because you didn't want to live with your parents all your life, as opposed to I literally ran from the systems of oppression instead of being financially chained to those leashes. Do you hear where like the disconnect is, where the things you're saying, you're like making your argument worse? Like, and this isn't about you personally. Okay, this is a common argument I hear. And as a mental health professional and as someone who's experienced it, because you felt invalidated and like you needed to say who you were, you're doing that to me actively right now. And this is something that we constantly run into. This is why we have these arguments. Like, do you hear, like, you're saying, like, I might have made some bad choice. I never said when I was homeless or anything like that, or when these things happen, but people hear homeless and I decided to go, like, eat a bunch of, hallucinogens or something and live in a shelter. Like, that's not real life.
I respect your opinion. I want to say thank you for enlightening me on your personal experiences, but I really don't know your life, so I will not speak on that. And I don't in any way, shape, or form mean to invalidate you or your opinions or your approach to this prompt.
Now I'm going to interrupt you because I don't think you heard me. What I said was, do you see how when you do things like say, oh, well, if you just blew off some money when you were 18, you're invalidating everyone who left an oppressive situation and blaming their own moral failing?
No, I didn't say that. Is word for word. I did not say that. What I was saying was that basically, I'm not saying they had money originally, I did say that. I'm not saying that like they blew that off and they made irresponsible decisions to, blow off money in general. I'm just saying, they were new to the experience, right? They're trying to figure out their way, as everyone is. And you know, sometimes you just need a little help to finding your way, and it's very difficult because the government does play a role on this. I'm not saying each be either personal failure or government failure is something that needs to be separate. I say sometimes it's mostly government failure in addition to something, or in addition to the situation, you know. So let's just say, you know, I am someone who is trying to find my way, as an example, as a young child, or, you know, someone who's leaving my home. And I want to find my way, but it's hard because the government doesn't allow you to do that if you don't have a set address, or a set financial, let's just say, what's it called? Like you have a set financial stability, right? Or, you know, race, or ethnicity, or gender identification. It really plays a lot of roles into that the government controls.
Okay. So like, and honestly, like, there's just a lot. The baseline of it is that we all agree that you need an address to do stuff. And you know, how can you have a job if you don't have an address? How can you have an address if you don't have a job? It's like I got on the affordable connectivity program. That was back when that was a thing, and I am very salty about it. Hey Hakuna, hey Dutch. Um and I wouldn't have been able to get a phone without a mailing address. Like, there's just a lot of services that you don't have at, and like the general delivery doesn't take packages.
And I agree with you. Yes.
um it's just, but it's like, as somebody who also left home due to an abusive situation, it's just like, it's just nowhere in human history does somebody just like leave all their resources, totally strike out on their own, and become homeless. Like, even if they weren't being physically beaten, there was something going on with that. Like how Hillary was talking about, like the socially set up caste system. Hey Vet, how you doing? And I know everybody has something they want to say. I chose is next. I chose, please go ahead.
So I guess my question is, when you say that's not my problem, right? Does that apply to this like circumstance? Like, why is it that you think that people should be held personally responsible for not housing? Like, I just don't. I know you said it had to be do with frivolous, but like, right, housing in this context as commies and as like when we think about it as like the system doing it, we're talking about access to housing, right? So if those people want to go run off and be dumb for a while, it doesn't end their life, right? Whereas in our system, if you choose to be like, I don't want to participate in this stuff, then you are SOL, right? And I think that that is part of why it's not a personal thing, right? Access to housing means that people shouldn't have to be homeless, right? So they can be homeless if they want to, in whatever this small fraction of people that, I mean, as an example, I lived in a tent for 8 years, like mostly voluntarily, but that's not relevant to the topic of homelessness, right? Like, personal adventures are not the problem, right? Personal misadventures are not the problem. The problem is that we don't have a system where people can safely trust that they will have housing. That's the problem.
Thank you. I just had I know you had a couple questions there, and I would like to answer them, all of them. I just want to make sure, like, make clear again. Can you please repeat the questions that you had asked me before?
Okay, I still can't see how you're holding people personally responsible for homelessness. I think that's the part, like, you showed this example of someone who chooses it, right? And like, some of it is because they're escaping, and I don't think that's really a choice, right? Like, fleeing a dangerous situation isn't a personal choice. and the fact that we allow that kind of abuse as a society and as a government. Now, I would be able to flex and say our society and government are to blame, but I wouldn't go so far as to say so individuals are to blame.
I can understand what you're saying, but what you added is how it can be like a problem, like if the current place that you are at is dangerous, right? And it's like harmful and abusive, right? What you said is like fleeing a situation that is harmful to you. Now I can understand that part, but I never mentioned an abusive household or a household. I just mentioned that if you are leaving because you want to discover oneself, or you want to get away from family because you feel like, I don't want to be with my family anymore. I feel I'm getting older and I just want to find my own life without living with my parents. I completely agree with what you're saying. If it's a dangerous place, right, and you are not safe there, or if you are being abused and you need to get out, I understand that. But I never mentioned that in
Then the fraction of people you're talking about is tiny, right? You're talking about fractional amount of homeless people are that way, like a tiny fraction, like less than 10% of people who are involved in, like, say, disability, or a fraction of a percent of people who have bills that they can't cover, right? Because that's the thing about this too. When you look at this chart, 50% of the triggers for homelessness are job and bills, right? There's no conversation about a few people who want to go on backpacking. And I was that person, right? That's what I mean, is that I chose backpacking over an apartment at 18. That doesn't put me in line with the causes and the responsibilities of homelessness, especially in this country, right? Because me being able to use mobility and use privilege to accomplish homelessness on my own terms is not a cause of homelessness. And therefore, like, you don't take individual responsibility for that. And again, there's no access to housing. And so that's the issue, right? Like, people can want to be liberated for whatever reason. They shouldn't have nowhere to go. Hence, it's a government and societal responsibility.
Right, and I agree with that. I also would like to address your question. I know it's one of the first questions you asked me was about my name, and you had asked me if it related to the prompt. I just wanted to. Is that what you asked? I'm sorry if I
I'm
mixed
sorry,
it
I
up.
was being flipped. I was just being flipped because, like, it sounded like the things you were saying were blaming people for their circumstances. And again, that in conjunction with your name. I don't think you actually did it for this live.
Oh no,
but,
no.
But
You're
like, the
right.
reason why you weren't allowed up the first time, right? And the reason I asked is that when you're talking about personal responsibility for homeless, right, is that's just not my problem.
Oh, okay. Thank
Like,
you.
does
Thank you.
that, like, play into why you think people are personally responsible? Because
So I'd like to answer your question. Thank you so much for clarifying. No, it does. It's not my opinion. That's just not my problem. Has been my profile name for some time, and it does not relate to any prompts or any lives that I join. It's just the name that I had chose based on a song. It is a song lyric. Maybe I should. Maybe it's my fault that maybe I should just put quotes and make it more like known that it is a song lyric. But no, it does not apply to my opinion or me addressing the prompt, and I do not believe it is a personal failure. I did say that it was a government failure, and I think I answered your question. If I missed anything, please let me know.
sure, I mean, I do think that you admitted that you said it mostly. And so everyone here is, like, looking for this example where you think people are personally responsible. And, like, hippie kids deciding to go a backpack is not the same. That's not homelessness. They're not in the category we're talking about.
I agree with you, and I never said that it was. I agree.
So then where are people responsible? Where is an individual responsible for their unhousing?
I had said it before previously. I really don't like mean to repeat myself multiple times, but
All right.
for the most part, it is government failure. You know, it's a lot of things that's wrong in this economy that is controlled by the government. And it's you know, I I can't say that it's like completely like myself thing. I know Hillary had wrote it in the comment, made a comment saying that I'm only speaking for myself. I am not. I don't mean to, you know, make anyone feel that way. So I will just excuse myself, and I want to say thank you for letting me on the live. I appreciate your time, and you guys all have a nice day. Thank you.
So yeah, somebody said something, housing is inevitable in capitalism. Unhousing is inevitable in capitalism, yes. If you can't admit how homelessness is a part of the problem. I mean, like, she definitely just wanted to come here just to say that, so it's whatever.
I want to be ubiquitous. Ubiquitous been sitting there the whole time, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, whatever you say.
Like, okay, girl. All right. I had nothing to add to that conversation. All I had was facial expressions and disdain.
Yeah. Black disgust, yes.
And you earned every expression, every
Yeah,
one
for
of them,
real. For real,
every
for real.
smirk, every oh no, every oh Lord.
Oh Lord. They don't consider you sleeping in someone's couch as homeless. Okay, so I do want to talk about some of the comments that are happening here. Oh, thank you so much for all the gifts, Tulips. I'm sorry, I don't like to cut people off, but thank you so much to everybody who gifted. Thank you for following. Follow the panelists. Follow the panelists are awesome. Have you ever been homeless though? I'm homeless now. What the fuck? That's really fucked up. Hello, Joe. Hello, Tommy. With this economy and housing market, I might as well be living in my car and save money. Exactly. This is Cambridge, Massachusetts. Okay, so the criteria for homelessness varies state by state. In some places, couch surfing does consider you homeless, and in some places, you have to be either sleeping outside in a homeless shelter or in a place that's considered uninhabitable. I'm just listening, right on. But if you are couch surfing, you can lie. Is van life sometimes doesn't count. Also living in your vehicle, yes. You can lie and say that you're sleeping under a bridge because they can't confirm it. It sucks that you have to do that, but if you need services, you can definitely lie and just say you're sleeping under a bridge. In some places, any roof over your head, you're not considered homeless, including places that aren't inhabitable, like storage units or your car. I just wanted to get that out there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, saying that I don't blame everyone else. Nobody's blaming, like, it's a government failure, not a personal failure. Nobody's blaming anyone. Nobody is blaming one. This is how I know y'all don't have reading comprehension skills. Nobody's blaming one singular person. It's blaming an entity that we pay taxes to and literally invest in. There should not be homelessness in a country that pays taxes. I want my okay. I'm gonna do this real quick.
Hillary said, meow. Right
Yeah.
now.
Right now, right now. This is ridiculous.
Exactly. I love that you said that because absolutely governmental failure. Exactly. Like there's no one person to blame for anyone's homelessness. It is an entity issue. Hello, Doctor, please. Hello, Timmis. Hey, Timmis. Hello, Toward Foster. Doctor, please. I don't know about that one. What else do we have? Oh, did that person leave? I guess they left. Okay, they left.
I appreciate the space. I'm going to drop to comments because I feel like I have a lot to say and I just want to be reasonable. It's your,
Okay.
you know,
LOL. LOL. LOL.
I love this here. Like, it's so interesting that we actually get to stuff. I just want to say, like, these are the lives where actual conversations are sometimes happening, which is pretty fantastic.
Wow. Thank you for coming up.
Agree.
Both.
True story.
Oh no, Elijah. Come on up. Come on up. As humans participating in the system against other humans as a collective. Yeah. But that's when the government leaves being a person and transforms into an entity because it's a collection of people with similar ideologies that enforce the harm. That's an ideology. That's an entity. That's not one person. Love the topic. Thank you, Nerdy. Not in the appropriate setting. Well, if you have time to shit on homeless people in text, you can have time to shit on homeless people in the box. Anyway, agreed. The vibes here are immaculate. Thank you. We have to realize this is a new generation of homeless people. Okay. Yeah, we do.
Isn't every generation a new? Okay.
Oh yeah, but
What
it's
does
like
that mean exactly?
we don't have as much. Every generation has more technology, though.
Hello?
Touche.
Yeah, go ahead, doctor.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, I was just calling because I've been in healthcare now 42 years. The people we are seeing now that are homeless, so different from the veterans with PTSD. I'm not talking about those groups that are definitely susceptible. I'm talking about senior citizens where the landlord doesn't want the Section 8. They want to charge 3 times the rent that they normally. These are people that have never been homeless, widows, people with small pets. When we discharge people now from my hospital, we know they're going to return because the elements outside are so intense. We know they're going to return because these are people that we have never seen homeless before. And no amount of government assistance is going to make a private landlord accept somebody that's only going to pay probably 30% of what they can get on the free market. Some of these big cities, oh my God, the rents are going up 500 at the end of a lease. I mean, it's at a point where you need 2-3 people living in one dwelling to make that kind of rent. It's really a shame, but there's really, people can't live at the hospital. There's really not a lot we can do. Joe Biden is trying to pass a law that says these landlords cannot charge 2-3 times what they're normally asking for in rent. A 2-bedroom apartment, $2,000 a month. I don't even know where people can pay that. I'm not even sure how you can pay that.
Like a stack per bedroom
Yeah. A stack
Yeah.
per
is
bedroom.
crazy
Yeah.
to me.
It's really, I mean, I'm in a blue state and this is what's going on. The
Yes.
landlord who may not even live in the state, he may live somewhere else, but he's got a property management company that is charging that kind of rent. It's mind blowing.
So may I ask what state? You don't have to answer. I just want to get because I'm also in the blue state.
Yeah, I'm in Nevada, which is considered a purple state, but
You're
we
in a
have
purple
never,
state. That's
yeah,
different.
well, we were blue these last couple of elections, but this election coming up, I'm not sure what's going to happen, because we're like number 48 in education, so that says a lot too. We're down there with Arizona. I mean, with the Arkansas and Mississippi. Our numbers are not good education wise. So a lot of people are brainwashed into voting against themselves. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Well, that's
I'm
not.
hope
I mean, that when it comes to homelessness, the Democrats and the Republicans are very united against homeless people. The homelessness is like the major social ill that is the most targeted and demonized, and presented as the most unrepairable social ill because it's presented as a personal failure, regardless of how many of the stereotypes. Thank you, Little Scrappy. Of these unhoused stereotypes are presented to have severe mental illness. it's weird, right? The stereotypes of homelessness are people with severe mental illness and like moral depravity,
But
but homelessness is treated like a personal failure.
But really, even to address the mental illness portion of it, we have many people that come through our facility that are mentally ill, schizophrenic, depressed. Um, we get them set up on medication. We even send them out to inpatient psych. The medication makes them feel like they don't need the medication.
Gotcha.
Psychiatric illness is a really weird thing. It's not like pneumonia where we treat you with antibiotics and oxygen, you go home. Mental illness, the treatment makes you feel like you don't need the treatment. So they will readmit.
Doctor, you're speaking in a very big generality on a very large area, because that is not true for all mental illness. I'm a social worker.
I would never say all. I would never say
Yes,
all.
you said mental illness treatment makes you feel like you don't need the treatment. That's not true for any of my psychiatric disorders.
Okay.
That may be true for, say, bipolar. So you're making some sweeping generalizations, okay? So let's slow down a little bit on how we talk.
Well, I'm talking about the people
Another
that
thing, wait, I'm not done.
Hey, both of y'all. All right. So the problem here is that you did make a generalizing statement. She's not using very person first language. It's facts. But we can't get caught up in that. Let's go back to the thing. The point is that homeless people are stereotyped and characterized as people with severe mental health disorders. And I'm not talking about schizophrenia, bipolar and shit. I'm talking about, like, I don't know what it is that makes people so like distraught, but like defeatism is characterized as a mental health disorder that homeless people have as a stereotype. And in the meantime, while people are suffering from severe defeatism, is what we're going to call it, people are being told that that homelessness is a personal issue, despite the fact that these people have this clear mental health disorder when they are stereotyped. And stereotypes aren't meant to humanize people, so don't worry about the semantics. The point is that we have, when you say we have a new generation of homelessness, of people who have never been homeless before, like widows and whatnot, and you go into stuff about like Section 8 and stuff, yes, that is correct. And 1.5 million college students are homeless. Veterans are homeless. The people that we also historically see as homeless are also still homeless.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yes. I want to say hey to some people. Hello, John. Hello, Sweet Pea. Working homeless. Yeah. Hello, Nomad. Hello, Mutter. Hello, NJ. Not that NJ, don't worry. Hello, Not Afraid to Live. Hello to everybody. Hello, Denver Bronco fan. They say drug addiction is causing people to be mentally ill. It's damaging their brain. It's sad. I mean, okay. And also, so people should have housing.
Yes. Agreed.
And
I just wanted to say this. I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
went to the mall. I went to the mall for the first time in probably a year. The mall is empty. Can we convert some of those spaces into micro studios? We have schools that are not open.
No, but there's no need though. We like see this? There's no need to convert any buildings. Just put the people in housing that in the houses that we have.
Yeah, but the landlords don't want it. The landlords won't accept what the government is subsidizing.
Okay, so they shouldn't be landlords then.
Oh, I agree.
The government needs to get a handle on landlords.
I agree. But in the meantime, we have people outside. So could a mall
they should
be
do it
converted?
now.
Could a
So
mall
they should
be
do it now. Hang on, doctor. The point is the government should do it now. They should do it absolutely right the fuck now. It's not even about the malls.
We have a capitalist system.
Yeah.
And you can't force private owners to do what you want them to do with their property.
The
But I was
government
thinking,
absolutely can force private owners to do what the government wants it to do with the property.
I was thinking maybe since the schools are owned by the county, can an abandoned school, you already have all those classrooms, the plumbing's there, the electricity is there, could that be converted into temporary housing? I'm just putting it out there. I'm not sure what that would involve, but it would seem easy if you think how many classrooms are, say, in an elementary school.
Can I
Could that
respond?
be done?
All
I
right,
think
people talking shit in the comments. You're getting sent to the back row. If you can't come up, you can be quiet.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're
I
good.
always,
no,
I
not
always try to
you.
think of a
Wait.
solution.
All right, both of y'all, stop. Hillary, go ahead.
Thanks. I think you're kind of still thinking about this in red and blue, right? Like my interjection wasn't like to knock you. Obviously, your name is Doctor Please. Like you said, you've been in practice for 42 years, right?
Yeah.
It was just my point to that was simply words matter. I think part of the problem is like you're still thinking in red and blue. Like I've seen this in Arizona, I've seen this in Michigan, I've seen this in California, I've seen it in Ohio, I've seen it in South Carolina, right? I don't think it really matters what like Biden wants to do. And like Path made a good point in the comments. Like these are FEMA camp solutions. Like, do you want to live in a classroom? Like, I think that there's like this missing link. Like, yes, we can change it if we're willing to do the work, right? If we're willing to say no more. If we're willing to say no, we're not willing to sit on this goalpost that slides and slides and slides back. Yeah, we can change it if we're willing to stand on business.
Exactly. Nerdy wants to go next, and Nerdy has been waiting patiently. So Nerdy, please go next.
I'm sorry.
Hey, thank you. So I currently work in house services. I manage 5 teams that provide various different types of services for folks who are unhoused. One is a shelter, a couple are outreach teams, and a couple are housing teams. And I think that as somebody who has experience working in state-sanctioned camps, which I think is kind of where the conversation is going, state-sanctioned camps are absolutely not the solution. I live in Texas, and the state-sanctioned camps are inhumane, and they are not hospitable for people. They are not a place that somebody can make a home. And I think considering the host's background, where we have the 27.4 empty homes for each homeless or unhoused person in the United States, that we can absolutely house people, and that we know if we want to look at it from a financial perspective, that it's actually significantly cheaper to house folks who are unhoused rather than allowing them to remain unhoused, because they're going to have higher rates of using the ER for non-emergency care. They're going to have higher rates of just using emergency services in general. So, EMS, fire department, police, things like that. They're going to have higher rates of incarceration. We know that folks who use substances, there's folks who are housed that use substances, but because they have housing, they don't get caught, or they don't get in trouble nearly as much. We have folks who are unhoused who, they are charged with, vagrancy laws, public intoxication, loitering, things like that. That wouldn't be something that they would experience if they were housed. So it's a cost saving action when we house people. And we've done studies on this. SAMHSA has done this, HUD has done this. The National Alliance to End Homelessness has done studies on how much we would save if we actually housed people who are unhoused, and it would be millions and millions and millions of dollars just to put people in housing. This is the premise behind the housing first, ideology. And absolutely, there's going to be folks that are going to need, what's called supportive housing services or wraparound services, where they may not be as successful in a traditional housing setting, where they need to be like on a property that has on-site case managers, counselors, medical care, things like that. We need more of those for sure. There's not enough of those programs, but I think we need to really, push for housing to be considered a human right in order for a lot of this stuff to happen at a legislative level. Because right now, housing is not considered a human right, and we absolutely need housing in order to not just survive, but thrive.
All facts, no printer. I'm gonna introduce Illusion. Illusion, what's up?
Hey guys, I think the debate discourse that you have here is very helpful. I like it. I really had one question. Basically, being homeless up until a couple years ago, what exactly factors into these landlords wanting to raise their rents $500, $600 at the end of a lease? I mean, when you think about it, there's only so much electricity, there's only so much water that a person would use. What exactly justifies these price increases? And furthermore, I would say, what justifies one person owning 100 or even a dozen homes if they're not going to be able to maintain them themselves, or be even to defend the homes? What justifies them owning all these homes and driving up all these prices? Is it simply their names on a piece of paper and that's it? That just seems kind of untenable for me. That's really the insight that I'm looking for, because that's been the hurdle that I've been trying to surmount forever. Is every time I get a place, okay, we're going to raise your rent $500, and
Right.
I'm out of luck. So if any of the experts on here could chime in, what justifies this?
Well, full disclosure, I wouldn't say we're experts unless somebody wants to correct me personally. But John, shut up. Because that, like, there's no such, like, if you know that the waiting list for Section 8 is fucking 8 years, and there's no such thing as people just being able to jump into homelessness just to get free housing, you need to just shut up. All right. So the baseline answer to that is greed. I know it sounds too simple to be true, but it's basically just greed. It's
But
people
that is the
wanting to,
truth. That is the truth.
yeah,
It's
like
great.
it's
It is
people
great.
wanting to hoard resources because like American capitalism rewards hoarding resources, and that's it. Like somebody said in the chat, Hank Nip. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank y'all so much for the follows. Hello, Jessica writes. Hank Nip said, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Oh, I don't need to do this on the phone. I can scroll up on my laptop and see it a lot better too. Hang on, give me just a second.
We all said greed. Like, I think the
Yeah.
whole panel said greed.
Yes.
Yeah, we all said
True.
greed. And
It's true.
so Hank Nip said something very like descriptive, talking about like colonialism. About how I can't find it, but European colonialism invented homelessness to disparage the natives, to say that their way of living wasn't acceptable. Thank y'all so much for the follows. I love and appreciate y'all. Hello, Jerdy. Victim mentality is so sad. Exactly. Like,
found it.
the colonizers the colonizers wanted to be victims. So they turned somebody else into the damn predators, and it turned out to be the natives when they got here. Making every way of life that the natives did bad. No, you want to be a victim. I tell you what, Cross Game, come on up. You have enough people to come up too. Come up, Cross Gaming.
Hacknip's quote.
What's up?
It was, homelessness was invented as a concept by the U.S. colonies in 1600s when they imported feudalism.
Yes. There you go. Thank you.
That's a bomb quote. I'd love that.
Oh, that's awesome. Cross Gaming, come on up. Surely you think a victim doesn't have any powers.
It's wild to me when people talk about, this idea that you're choosing to be unhoused. And I think that, I don't think choice is the right word. I think there are people that would prefer, in very few circumstances, like I've certainly met people who would prefer to be unhoused because the alternative is so heavily seeped in capitalism that they feel as if they can't be successful in a traditional housing setting because they don't have a choice of what type of housing they can access. That it's the rules are very strict, or maybe they have certain preferences, or maybe even they have a mental health diagnosis where they don't feel comfortable being in a traditional housing setting. I wouldn't call it a choice when they feel that when they feel more comfortable being street unhoused or living in a car over living in a traditional housing setting because of the amount of stress that comes with being housed. I think that's a better way to explain it. Like I said, I've met, in my, over a decade I've been doing this. I've met a small handful of people who are like, yeah, I don't really want to live in an apartment where there's going to be cameras all over the place and I'm
Right.
not going to be able to make any noise. And I can't have a pet, or if I have a pet, it's going to be a $500 pet deposit. And the way it's structured is just not for them. I think that's really the way that we should look at it, rather than a quote unquote choice.
Right. Yeah, it's like, people are homeless by choice, quotation marks, but like, what are their choices? Their
Yeah.
choices are not dignified and equitable housing where they truly have privacy. So they're doing their doing what is best for them and what they want in their situation or closest to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, they just don't want to pay all that money to not live the life that they want to live. And that's also valid. Also, speaking of valid, I'm Tank Bro, come up. Because you're doing a lot of that tip tapping in the chat, my brother. But let's see you flex those muscles up here on the panel. Come on up.
I'm gonna do a mod thing real quick.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I can't hear you. Hang on. Snatch my earbud out. Just a little mod thing real quick. 8.4K likes is wonderful. And while we appreciate it, the goal right now is 10K likes. Um, if we don't get to 10K likes, like in the next 10 minutes, you might lose your First Amendment right. Ain't even gonna hold you. Okay? No freedom of speech in here. Okay? If you're here, let's participate. We're having a good conversation. Let's keep it going. Share the life. We got 22 shares so far. I need to share some. Y'all can share some. If you press and hold down on the host's face, it'll pull up almost all of your contacts and you can share individually,
Oh, I
one
didn't know.
by one. You can definitely do that, some doctor. That's cool. Press and hold, just hit send. Go down the line of all the people you want to have in here with us to continue this lovely conversation. Also, gift the panel, gift the hosts, more importantly, gift the hosts. Let's get these dollars, get these coins, but let's continue also to have a very productive, adult, mature conversation. All right, I'm back on mute. Y'all tap tap titty tap tap tap.
Right on. Thank you, CJ. All right. So, illusion. Did any of that help you, my friend?
No, yeah, I mean I've heard that answer before, Greed, and I guess I was expecting a more complicated answer, but I guess at the end of the day, it really is just people being greedy. I myself have been trying to find whatever calculus they're using, but it really just does seem like, oh, the market prices this. Well, we're going to raise it $500. If you don't remember, a couple of years ago, even like a year and a half ago, a used car from 2012 was just as much as a brand new car, simply because of the market price, right? And there was almost no justifiable reason to do that. So I guess it really is greed. That's just a simple answer of it. But thank you guys.
For sure. You're very welcome. All right, I'm Tank. What you got to say? Unmute.
Hello, hey, thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got bad service, so I might be cutting out in and out soon. What did you want to ask me about?
You can go ahead and follow up on your what you were saying in the chat.
I guess I'll comment on the banner you have. It says homelessness. I disagree with it. Homelessness is a personal problem. It's not on the government to give any of us a house, much less
Why?
anything, in my opinion. I think we should depend on the government less
Why?
in every way and aspect.
Okay, why?
That's not what the government's for. It's a waste of money.
What
It's,
do you
every
think the
dollar
government's
that we
for?
give
Why do we pay taxes? What is the government for?
to keep order and protect from foreign and domestic threats. That's it.
So
That should be all.
if the domestic threat is homelessness because people can
That's
die
not
from
a threat.
homelessness, Actually,
You can
it
change
is.
that yourself.
Well, prove it's not, because homelessness can kill people.
A domestic threat, as in somebody being violent or aggressing towards you, or a
Oh,
group
so we
of
don't
people
do that
doing
either,
that
as
to
we
you.
saw with Donald Trump. So the government does nothing, basically.
Do what?
So as what we saw with Donald Trump on Saturday, the government also doesn't do that. So I guess there's no point in the government.
Not very good. Anything that the government does, they suck at doing. So trying to house
Okay.
people, it's just going to be a waste of everybody's money, and it's not going to work.
So we should just abolish the government.
Oh my
That's not what
God.
I said.
Oh, well, then say what you're saying, because apparently the government can't do anything right, including protect former presidents. So apparently we should just abolish the government.
What does the government do better than a private industry can do? Name something that they can do better.
Why should I?
You can't.
Name something that a private industry does better than the government.
Literally everything.
You can't name
Can
anything
the government
either.
create jobs?
Yes, we literally have federal jobs. What the fuck is wrong with you? We
So you
literally
think the
have the
government
post
creates
office.
jobs? You think
These
the
guys thought
government
I was being
creates
political.
jobs?
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? Like, EMS, firefighters, those are government jobs, dog. Like, the post office is a government job. Like, the banks
Do
and the
they create
treasury and
wealth?
shit, those are government jobs. You go to prison if you fuck up on those jobs.
Do they create wealth, or do
Oh, you're
they create
breaking up.
wealth, or do they take wealth from the people?
Does the post office create wealth or take wealth away from the people? Does the fire department create wealth or take wealth away? What, do you even know what you're saying? What the fuck is happening right now?
Social Security,
Hold on.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, but you were breaking up before.
Hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I guess we're just gonna have to face the fact that Hank is having bad service, because Hank is cutting in and out, and also he can't really hear us.
Yeah, so, all right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I can know whenever I cut out, but I know y'all can't hear me, so. So, what I was saying is the government, it's our money. It's all of our money. They take our money. They don't have their own money. So, every job that they create takes from us. That's what I was saying. They don't create wealth.
Wait.
They take it from us.
So the
Hank, don't.
hang on. No. Let me do the thing. So the post office takes from us. So the fire department takes from us. I'll agree with you that the police are
Our
definitely
taxes.
taking from us. The police literally kill people. Yes, I agree with you on that one. So teachers
It's our
take.
taxes.
So teachers take from us. A teacher definitely took
It's
from you.
our taxes. Will you agree that it's our taxes, or can you not admit that?
Yeah, it's our tax dollars. Yes, and these
Okay,
tax
so they're
dollars are supposed
taking
to
our
go
tax
into-
dollars, and they're
All
not
right, hush.
creating wealth
So
with
these-
it. They're redistributing.
So hush. So these tax
I
dollars
know you
go into our.
because- Like what I'm
Hey,
saying.
hush. So these tax dollars go into our infrastructure. We need schools, especially you. Like, what the fuck? Investing in the future to educate people with basic education in college isn't that's not generating wealth. People knowing how to read isn't generating wealth. People knowing how to do basic math isn't generating wealth. People going to school to be doctors, lawyers, all these other things that we need.
Okay, can you answer
People
a
getting into
question
the
for
tech
me?
industry. What is the question?
I'm not disagreeing with you that we need education, but my question is, which type of education produces better success, public school or private school?
If
I mean,
you know what, I think I can interact with Tank on this one if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
You,
If
Tank,
you can
okay,
answer the question first, that would be better.
Hey, you need to stop interrupting. This is my life, not yours.
Hey,
You
don't
make the rules here.
don't dodge the
Shut
question.
up. Shut up.
Don't dodge the question.
Your illusion, please
You're
go ahead.
dodging.
I can answer the question. I think you know
Nah, bro, let her.
My pronouns are he, him, and they are on the screen. See, you don't even know how to read. Yeah, keep muting him. Illusion, please go ahead.
Well, I guess really on the education question, in my experience, look, the public school system is basically meant to cater to. I'm just gonna say, the lowest common denominator. But at the end of the day, the person's own ability is really what makes the education, whether they're in private school or public school. It really all does come down to personal ability. That's not to say that not everybody can learn how to read. Um, there is a sizable population I've noticed of America that
Oh, he left.
simply can't read for whatever reason. But
Wait,
there isn't a reason that everybody can't succeed.
Illusion, hang on just a second. Who removed him? My pronouns are he, him, and also I didn't have my hand on the screen. Dutch, why did you do that?
I didn't do anything. I just joined and it asked if I wanted to join.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
no,
dropped
I
him.
said Dutch. I was saying hi to Dutch. I didn't mean Dutch dropped him. I have no idea. I was sitting here with my picture of a train wondering how he thought people learned to be engineers and shit.
Okay, CJ, you said something. Please go ahead.
I dropped him.
Oh, okay.
I did, just to give him a second to cool off, because the incessant muting, unmuting, muting, unmuting, muting, unmuting, it was a lot and very immature. So I'm
Okay.
gonna let I'm Tank hang out for a second down
Okay.
there in the comments, and when you can have some decorum, you can come back up.
Decorum. You better decorum that house, brother. I love that. But yeah, yeah. I don't get muted. I say what I want. Oh, we got something to remedy that. Hang on just a second.
I'll sing what I want.
You got
There you
muted.
go.
You got muted.
Oh no, looks like you got muted. I just muted him right on. I think we
First
all muted
Amendment
him.
rights stripped. Toodles to your First Amendment right.
This is not your what do they think this is? Democracy? This ain't it, bruh.
Yeah, for real. You get sent to the back row really quickly around these parts. But he made it very clear that he wasn't trying to engage in actual conversation. I'm very sorry about that illusion. Dutch, how are you doing?
Doing good, guys. How's everybody doing here?
Oh, we're doing all right. People always say that they need FEMA and Social Security. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that it's like his point of like what was he saying? He was overall he was saying that the government does a really shitty job and private institutions should be running everything. And it's like two things can be true, right? The government is shitty and also our private institutions are shitty because our private institutions are the ones polluting our water, land, and air. FEMA and SSI have way too many barriers. They aren't good programs, need updating. Yes, they do.
Well, that's why they get mad about socialism and shit like that, is because to them, they believe socialism means that the government's in control of everything and that, no private business is running anything, which is not farther from the truth. Under socialism, like, it should just be the government's job should only be that the citizens have its basic needs met. That's it. Like, they're not in control of businesses. They just appropriate what's taken to take care of their citizens. That's it.
CJ just sent us a check-in, a self-care check-in reminder. Please do drink water, everybody. I'll lead by example. And CJ is also drinking some. But yeah. Oh yeah, and Hillary's got it too. Y'all drink your water. All these libertarians turning up to fight. Yeah, it's weird. Like, but I tell you what, if they're talking shit in the chat and they don't have their invitation on, or they refuse the invitation, just fucking send them to the back row. And remove our ability to build our own homes. The related human nature would forces people into homelessness. Yeah. By refusing ability to feed a home. Homelessness wasn't a thing before U.S. colonies, because if you needed shelter, you would make it or find it. Yep. Government and corporation failure. Okay. I tell you what, come up and tell us how it's a corporation failure. Um, I'm drinking water. It's frozen, surrounded by bourbon. Hush.
I just read that.
Appeal to the rugged masculine by framing the government as restricting our survival abilities. I mean, I feel like they should already know that. They should literally already know that. If you know that you can't build your own house.
What's with rugged individualism shit too? When like literally, if their bosses stop paying them and the grocery stores shut down tomorrow, 89% of this country would like drop off like flies. So
Yeah. If it isn't the government's job to house people, why should it be the government's job to kick you out? Exactly. The government kicks you out. That's literally what evictions are. And they send the sheriff, right? So yeah.
Here's the best part. I lease my land. I own my house 100% outright, but if I don't pay my taxes, they get my whole ass place. So
Yeah, and
they can kick me out.
I saw a video of an old man getting kicked out of his house that he like built himself back when he was much younger, but they kicked him out of his own house because they said that his house was uninhabitable because it wasn't hooked up to city water and city electric. So now he's homeless because he's kicked out of the house that he fucking built.
Yeah, they can do eminent domain and stuff. They can kick me out of my house whenever they want. And
Exactly.
I own it. I have no loan, none of that. I own it, but they can literally kick me out. So tell me again how it's a personal failure. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, for real.
I think what they really people who make that personal failure argument, they must come from a background where it's literally just as easy as getting any job. Just go work at the grocery store, and we'll help you go get a loan. I think they really think it's that easy, but it's not.
There are some homeless people or formerly homeless people that also believe that some people are homeless by choice. They believe that they would rather do drugs than get housing. And it's like, can you believe that housing shouldn't, like, a barrier to housing shouldn't be drugs? No,
It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. That's really a personal choice. If you're not harming anybody, there really shouldn't be any other restriction.
Exactly.
They frame it like that too because they've been told, so they hear it where people are just like, yeah, I'm not participating. I don't want to be a part of the system, so I'm homeless. But they're not saying that fucking this is my choice. I'd rather be out here in the elements, other than housing. If they have a provided housing for them, they of course would still take it and take care of it too and everything. It's the fact that they make it like it's this way that they make it so you have to participate in order to be a part of it. That's the choice. They're not saying, you know what, I want to be out here instead of, living in a home or something.
Yeah, everyone should have the new slogan is everyone should have a safe place to commit consensual coitus. Everyone should have a safe place to coitus.
Okay, this is a true story about me. Dutch is one of the only people on TikTok that knows this about me. I used to be one of those people where I would give homeless people food and drinks and stuff like that. But I might not always give them money because I was in recovery and worked in my field. So I was afraid they might party with it and lose their life. Right? Because that's how I used to get down when I was using. I had to actually become homeless, like literally, because I chose it over like DV and a horrible life I was leading, even though I had the good job and everything, right? But like I was still kind of judgmental until I realized like some people were just like partying because being homeless really sucks.
Yeah.
It might not be my way to get down out there. I might meditate or something, or I might be cool with like some flour. But if other people like just want to party or do their thing, whatever, dude, I'll give them a few bucks or whatever. Now, it's a totally different life. But and I think I can accept it. I grew up. Right? It wasn't for me to decide if I had it, what they did with it. And I think other people can't accept sometimes that institutionalization of what we were taught in DARE isn't always the truth.
Oh yeah, a lot of people use DARE unironically.
Yeah. I wanted to just make a comment about the drug and alcohol addiction. Everybody starts out kind of functional. Like, oh, I drink every day, but I still go to work and I still pay my bills. I smoke weed. I don't find weed to be that reprehensible myself, but the harder drugs, all of those people start out functional. It's like it's kind of a controlled chaos, but they're not really looking back to the source of that, which may have been a child rape, child sexual abuse. Those people are all trying to kill some memory, some pain, something. And soon it does get out of control. You can't be a functional alcoholic forever. You can't be a functional drug addict forever. At some point, all of those things, it's a perfect storm, start to unwind. And then all of a sudden, you can't pay your bills, you lose your job, you're homeless. It's 115 here today. I don't think anybody outside my home wants to be homeless. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
And those are also like you were just saying, they're coping mechanisms, and it's not
Correct.
only just drugs that do that. Like there's people that get heavy into gambling, shopping.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things that make it like that. And I mean, there's a comedian who's passed away now, Greg Giraldo. I don't know if you know. That was one of his things that he would talk about, like when you give money to the poor people, and they're like, or to the homeless people, and they'd be like, "Why are you giving them money? They're just going to use it on drugs." And he's like, what do you expect them to buy? Do you think they're going to buy a bookshelf for the fucking? They're not saving up for
For
it.
real though.
Yeah, so.
Like, that's another thing though, right? Like, we also know that drugs isn't a reason why people become homeless, because there are people who use drugs that are housed and they don't have to worry about it. It's just like let's get down to like the brass tacks of it, right? People don't like poor people having bodily autonomy. And most of us are poor, so we just don't know what the fuck to do to ourselves. We just subjugate the next poor person. Everybody's running around here poor. Like I said earlier, 60% of Americans are one missed paycheck or one medical emergency away from being homeless. That means our country, most of us are in poverty. That qualifies us as being in fucking poverty. But as long as they're not the people on the sidewalk, they're the ones who get to have coitus and do drugs and alcohol because they're not outside, therefore they're not subjecting anybody else to witnessing it. But it's okay to judge people who don't have anywhere to fucking go when they do those things. It's like, no, they deserve things. Sorry. Hate to break it to you.
You're not going to get social programs out of Republicans. That has been my experience of 42 years. Whenever there's a Republican running the show, there will not be social programs readily available. That's just been my experience. Maybe other people on the panel have had a different experience, but whenever there's a Republican, you will not get the things that people at the very bottom of the spectrum need.
So that's how you get everybody on the panel mad, especially me.
I know.
Because
I know. That's okay. That's okay. That's just been my experience.
Okay, so you gotta stop. You need to stop. So I live in Minnesota. I live in a blue state. I also live in a blue city or county within the blue state. Republicans and Democrats hate homeless people.
Oh, I agree.
And that's just hands down. Because if Democrats were doing what they were supposed to be doing, we still wouldn't have all this shit. We can't make this about Republicans and Democrats, knowing that they are very united against homeless people.
And the way they do it too, it's like saying they're Republicans. All the social programs we actually have, the welfare state programs, those were actually set up by the Republicans actually, because these programs we have, social programs, they're not meant to help actually. They are meant to like make you dependent. Like if you're on disability, it takes years to get onto it sometimes to varying degrees of what you can do. It takes whenever you do get on it, you are not allowed to earn anything more than what they give you. If you do, they cut you off. It's set up so it's like if you're like, which you can't be an entrepreneur, you can't do something better for yourself when you're disabled, because that could just be a time that you're able to do something and make a little bit more money. But that'll cost you everything, and then if you can't do something for a couple months, you're screwed. So it makes you dependent on them. They're not helping to try to give a hand up, a hand out, even is not at all there. It's just to control.
Oh, it's been a while. I'm going to you can't say both sides say home, only blue states try to care for them. So
It's
there's
just
that
my
city in
experience.
Oregon.
Just my experience. I'm sorry. It's just my experience working
All
in
right,
healthcare.
we're gonna stop because you keep
We're
unmuting
not just
and you keep
talking to you.
interrupting.
Yeah, we're not just talking to you. She's reading a comment. Okay, Detroit, blue city, always been a blue city. Please do not tell me. Phoenix, Arizona, blue city, Maricopa County's always been a blue county. Please don't tell me they care about us. Okay,
Yeah.
just stop.
It's and also it's just like there's that town in Oregon. That's why the Supreme Court ruled that that town has the right to incarcerate unhoused people even if there's no shelter available. And that place is run by Democrats and it's in Oregon, which is also a blue state. Like there's just no such thing as Republicans and Democrats caring about homelessness. There's no such thing.
In Oregon, weird. It's almost like if you follow their history back, they're going right back to their roots of their version of Jim Crow.
Literally. Or the updated version of ugly laws, but we're applying it to homelessness instead of disabled, even though the things that we're doing are going to affect disabled and elderly as well.
And let's be real, they're all sin taxes that we're dealing with, right? You can't do any of the sins, the sexes, the drugs, the alcohol, the tobaccos, the gambling, the sins in public, because that's poor tax, because poor taxes are things like payday loans and things like that. And, you know, they don't like us because we're visible, and they teach us to hate each other because that way they can divide and conquer. So hate the poorer than you. That's all that's going on. So don't tell us Democrats or Republicans care about us. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Hate the poor because they're poorer than you. Hate the poorer than you, basically. That's a perfect way to put it.
Always punching down. Every single time. It's always punch down.
Exactly.
You know, you guys made a good point that it about being able to perform coitus in a private domicile. Almost every single place that I've rented towards, they almost had no problem with anything that I did, except when it came with bringing partners over for whatever reason. I see this as a trend. The upper class seems to really dislike it whenever they see poor people partnering up. That's really what I've realized now. And now that you guys brought up that point, it's all clicking for me now. It's really weird that way.
But they still want babies. They still want everybody having babies. Sorry, Hillary.
I was saying the same thing as you, because what if we mate? Once I lived in a hotel when I was coming out of homelessness. Do you know what I was not allowed to have? Men stay the night.
Weird. How is the hotel in charge of that, though? Like, it's a hotel.
Right, but I had to stay in one for poor people, you know, the kind you could rent by the week. So I had to follow poor tax rules. And one of the rules was one key, one person, no men overnight.
Come on. All right. It's fun.
They literally saw my friend walk me home from the store because it's not the safest neighborhood, and called me to make sure he left.
Uh-huh.
In one of your blue counties, y'all, in one of your blue cities, y'all, that was in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cold as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, though. Phoenix is pretty shit, like, in general, but also very shit when it comes to homelessness and how they treat homeless people. They actually would just rather homeless people die out in the desert, to be perfectly honest with you.
Can afford a $500,000 house, it's a great place to live. If you are poor, it's a great place to get resources, but they will let you die in the desert. They don't care.
Hello, Colleen?
Yes. And I came up here because I disagree with this. Now, I will be fair. Yes, stuff are high, taxes are unnecessary, but I think the homeless people that I live from, we actually feed them and we interviewed them. We realized none of them mentioned they had to pay a lot of money. Most of them were addicts. They were addicts. And then some of them had rumors against them that they were smedophiles and stuff like that. So they couldn't get a job because of what other people were doing to them. I feel like the government definitely did fail us and everything. But I feel like when it comes to homeless people, like, I don't think the government failed all homeless people, because some of the homeless people, it kind of is their life choices and what they did in life.
There's nobody's choices that are going to make them homeless for that, especially if you're going to try to say drug addiction or so. It's
It is. It is.
hold on. There's actually more people that are houseless that are working jobs and not doing drugs at all than there are out there doing them. So how is it like a life choice thing? And like I said, I brought up earlier about the fact that you can hear them. But
Josh, what did I
What's
tell
happening
you
right now?
What did I tell you about free education? How do you pronounce your name, person?
Kalene.
And what are your pronouns?
He/him.
Okay, Kalene. This little focus group, where was it? Like, how big was it?
Well, I'm from Texas. It was in South Dallas, and it was about, like, majority about 200 people, because, like, we interviewed a lot of homeless people, but it was no more than 200, I'm sure.
Was there any kind of prize for participating, like a gift card or food?
A gift card? Yeah, no. We didn't give them, like, money or anything. We just served them. Like, we just had soup and everything out for them.
Okay. Can you see how the results may be skewed if you're offering up something for free? Because I participated in a lot of surveys and said whatever the hell I was told, because I know that the people that are doing those kind of surveys got the good food.
Yeah, it was some good food, I guess. Like, I'm picky eater, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, but have you ever been homeless?
No, never.
Okay, so I'm a picky eater too, which means I don't eat goulash even homeless. But you probably got some of that good food or that good gift card, or I'm going to get some good air conditioning out of doing this with you. So I might tell you about my addiction, right? But I probably didn't tell you that I've been clean for 10 years for it, and I'm lying about needing help to live in like a 3-quarter house because it's cheaper rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm probably not going to tell you that.
Oh, no, there were needles. I don't think any one of them were clean, but yeah.
Right. Okay, so if I'm using that, but were you here for the part where we talked about like some people party?
No, I joined 2 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Just curious. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Hillary touched on a great point, and that's something I didn't think about because I didn't participate in any of those homeless surveys. Yeah, the ones that are doing those surveys and the polls, they do usually have the better resources. Like, y'all have the better food and stuff. Hey, peacefully fighting. So yeah, like, I feel like that's a good reason for your results to be skewed, honestly.
They also often have Visa gift cards or some kind of food gift card, maybe a $5 Dunkin' Donut. It doesn't matter. They got the good stuff.
Yeah.
And also, a thing that I noticed, homeless people do get greedy, like, based off my experience.
Oh, we do? Please tell me more about what you think about homeless people to a homeless person.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say. I said based off of my experience. Now, I do understand y'all do not have a lot. I understand. But I think you should be considered because you've been to a homeless shelter, correct?
Correct.
Yes, see, so don't they tell y'all need to be more considerate about that? There's other people that y'all are not.
Have you ever been to a homeless shelter?
Dutch.
No, I never have. But like, I assume that they would tell you to stop because if you take too much,
you're assuming a lot though without.
But hang on, Dutch.
Well,
so hang on. We're going to continue this line of questioning. No.
They don't tell you to like take only a certain amount because there's a lot of other people.
Take only a certain amount of what?
Of food or something, because like that's what we gave them. Like we gave them food and everything.
No.
Y'all don't get. Now I see.
Because people do only take what they need.
That's not every person though, because like there are some.
Sure?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. No,
are you sure that people aren't taking what they need maybe because they have food insecurity and they're taking what they need probably later for the day?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not calling. Oh, I thought you were referring to them as all greedy. My bad. Then yes, they do have to take what they need. Most of the time, it's what they need, not what they want. Oh, she has her hand up. Yeah.
Okay, Hillary, go ahead.
Didn't you identify yourself earlier as a picky eater?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but then you said some homeless people are greedy when they come across the people with the good stuff. Heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I mean, like Hillary is saying what it means. Like homeless people are greedy when it comes to the good stuff. But like who isn't?
When it comes to
So
good
like
stuff.
I'm neurodivergent, right? So I can't eat gelatin because the way it feels in my mouth makes me want to rip out my own eye so I can dig my nails into it. So, like, when I come across the people not giving away gelatin foods, but maybe gift cards to places where I can eat or the good food that I know is safe and not somebody's grandma's rice pudding, I might stack up on that, you see, because it's something I can eat for a few days. Am I greedy?
Well, hold on. What's up with grandma's rice pudding? First of all,
I don't know your grandma Dutch. I don't know her. I don't know her kitchen, man. I'm sorry. I don't eat at anybody's house.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
that's facts.
and I don't know because like over here, y'all seem like different kind of homeless people. If that sounds stupid, I'm sorry. Because like over here, it's way different over here. Like I literally could give a homeless person $20 and they'll beg for more money. And it's like, look, I'm a working class citizen too, so it's just like I'm sorry, but I just can't give you a lot of money.
so Colleen, you go into your work, right? You work your job, whatever they decided to give you. If you work more hours, you just take what they give you. You don't tell them that you deserve more, or you think you want more, or anything like
Oh
that,
no, no,
right?
no! I'll deserve more when I
That's
work
fucking
for it.
weird. That's really greedy of you. Why would you do that?
Wait, greedy of you. Wait,
Yeah.
but if I put in the work,
That
you don't
says
think I?
to you, maybe they don't. You're not doing anything extra to them. You deserve what they think that you deserve. You thought
Yeah,
that person only deserves money, $20.
you have a job, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you understand when you put in more hours, you do get paid extra money.
I don't see any of these hours you're doing though. You just came to me and told me you worked extra hours. I'm not giving you extra money for that shit. No, I saw you work
Well,
5 hours. That's
maybe
it.
your boss isn't the same. Like, no, like, sorry, but maybe it's just not the same for me and you then. It's a
Sounds like
different.
it
Oh,
sounds
so
like yeah, it
let's
sounds like
have
pretty
so
good.
hang
But
on, both of y'all stop. Let's have this greater conversation about how there's a difference between hourly and salary, first of all. So, and also I need some of these keyboard warriors to also get up here. If you're a keyboard warrior, you will be sent to the back row, aka muted, and you will just be listening to the conversation until you decide to leave. Joshua Seward. All right, you've been sent an invitation to come up. If you do not come up, you will be sent to the back row. Anywho, so we're not going to have this back and forth about the semantics of how people get paid, since we know that there's hourly and the other word that I said, salary. But if you know that where you are has better resources, yeah, people are going to want that, just like anybody. People want better for themselves. Homelessness is a government failure. Yes, indeed. Y'all kick Joshua if he says anything else, because he's been invited up. If he says something else after he's been invited, go ahead and kick him.
My mod powers aren't working, just so you know. I don't know why, but they're not. Just so you know.
Okay. Well, if another mod can get him, y'all can get him. Okay, CJ sent him another invitation. But like the idea that homeless people should just take whatever they're given is really fucked up. And it's like you said, you gave somebody $20 and they asked for more. Well, being homeless is expensive, and if you don't want to give more, you certainly don't have to. It's just, don't be surprised when somebody who has nothing asks somebody who has something for some more. Because, like, I don't know if you know this, but we don't have fucking refrigerators to store food in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we don't have that storage, it makes our lives more expensive.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm definitely middle ground when it comes to this. And I understand what you said. Like, of course, they're going to want more because they see somebody who has more. But what they have to realize is, like I did say, the government and the economy is really messed up right now. So it's just like for me to
but
even,
it's
like,
not. But you're missing the key part there is when you keep saying you see someone that has more, you're mistaking how Helios is saying that. Is that they see someone more, sure. They're not saying that person has more, give me more. It's that you have someone that's in a better position or so, and they're asking, and you're turning that into how dare they just want to take shit from me for free is what it's coming like across.
no, it's that I understand what it means to like have to work for everything. So
You're
I
saying,
was
you're
generous
going
enough.
back to, hold on, you're going back to that language again, where this is like, I understand that work. So you're saying it right there again. That's why I was trying to do the work and your employer type thing. Is because you're seeing yourself as like, they're lazy to you. They don't deserve these things. I work hard. I deserve more things. You don't know what they do. Like most of
Yeah.
the heavy majority of fucking homeless houseless people are working 40-hour-a-week jobs already.
Yeah. 60% of unhoused people have income, and 40% of that have documented employment. So, I like homelessness is definitely one of the things that collects all of the social ills. But like, do you have anything nice to say about homeless people?
Yes, like I literally will say, I still do see y'all as human beings, and I don't believe people who aren't homeless is better than the homeless. Like we're all humans, of course. Like I still see that, and I understand why y'all would necessarily want more. But I'm talking about like from my stance, like when we serve the homeless, because I don't work at a homeless shelter, but like when as a church, when we serve the homeless, it is kind of like, here, you take this gift box and you can only have one per person. And that's just because I did it at the church. So I'm going to know how a homeless shelter does things.
Okay, so you definitely have the better resources because you have a church going
Yes.
on.
Yes. I will say the church helps the homeless more than the government. And that's what's the issue. Like, I feel like the government should be putting more into the homeless community.
Let's also remember that church doesn't really help the houses either as much as, like, they can do some things here and there, but most houses, most homeless shelters are like, you have strict things. You have to be there by, like, I don't know, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. at the latest in some of them.
Right.
If it's later than that, you're turned away. You have to be out the next morning, usually like 4 or 5 a.m. A lot of them, you can't leave stuff there. It's literally
You know
first
what
come,
we
first
had
served.
to
Sorry,
get breakfast? We had to sit on Sundays. We had to sit through service.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see that. But I have a question. You said you are homeless, correct?
Right.
Like, how is this device available to you and like everything? Like, that's a genuine question because I'm like really curious.
Are you asking me if I'm homeless? How do I have a phone?
Yep.
I mean,
And Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi. How do you have Wi-Fi too?
yeah, I mean, because like I'm not trying to judge you or anything, but like when I think of homeless, I think of somebody who has absolutely nothing and like
Dude,
they.
it's 21st century. These things are endemic. You kind of need like these things, you know? We're
Because
literally not
there's
cavemen anymore.
Because there's government assistance programs. Because you really know nothing about homelessness, and I cannot believe you serve people. Like honestly, this is so embarrassing right now, and you have the nerve to come up here and have an opinion about any of this. Because there's actual government programs to get a free phone. Because we crowdfund. Because we're communal. It's why we do what you do. Because your God isn't all of our God. Because you're
Girl, I'm not
so.
even Christian.
Then you're working with the church for I have no idea
That's
what
because
we're
it's run by my
doing.
family.
I am still talking wild, dude. So like I don't understand why you're really here except to say you think it's drugs and it's not. You don't understand mental health. It's not. You don't understand how the government and the church play into all of this.
Oh.
And you want some kind of out or some kind of pat on the back for helping the homeless, which you don't realize you're blindlessly doing yourself. You're wasting our time, and I can't kick you because
No,
I can't find my
I'm
mom.
not wasting the time. I came up here and I didn't
No,
even just say. I did
I'll
not just.
answer. Hang on. I'm gonna answer your question. So, the reason why I have a phone is because people aren't as greedy as people like to. Other people who benefit from the narrative of people being greedy like to set things up. I have a phone because of mutual aid, and I also have a government phone. And you not understanding that a phone is cheaper than rent is astonishing. But you're definitely not the first person that I've come across like that. Y'all need to write this down on a sticky note and stick it on your mirror so you can read this every morning. A phone is cheaper than rent. Now I'm gonna let you hang on to that one.
No, I
Not
understand.
only
I was
that, but
saying.
you have to. Well,
We're not arguing.
not
There's no
only that.
arguing.
Sorry. Not only that, but it's like you have to have a phone for everything now. Like you can't even apply for a job if they don't have a way to recontact you. So it's a literal necessity in order to fucking participate in the shit.
Dylan, you don't even have enough people to come up. Sit in the back row. Anyway,
Only reason I'm still homeless is because I owned the house before I became homeless, and the DV situation worked itself out. Be so for real. Like
no,
I was
it's a
working.
matter of like, oh, how are you paying bills? It's like somebody else pays it.
I know, no, like is it I didn't live with people in the
also we
shelter
went
that work
over
full time?
Also we went over the point that homeless people are employed, like, or have some form of income, whether it's not employment, whether it's SSI or whatever. Like, man, just like fucking close your mouth and unclog your ears, and maybe you'll figure out why homeless people have things. Work. Hello, welcome to the panel.
What's up? What's up?
All
First,
good.
thank you, host, for hosting this live. I just want to say thank you for holding this space for these type of talks, so we can break the stigma of homelessness. I agree, homelessness is a government failure. To the person in the comments that is saying like, how is it the government's fault for personal failure? Housing should be free. That is your right on this planet. They have, or whoever you think they are, they're trying to make you feel like you have to work essentially for a good life. No, we are humans. We require basic rights. Housing should be free. And since we don't have a choice to pay taxes, we should be having fair housing through that's a government issue. It's not personal. So I agree. We should have things in place. Rent shouldn't be a thing, in my opinion. So yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think you're bad if you end up being homeless. And I really wish we didn't have stigmas like the last person, assuming, you feel me, you didn't have a phone. That's weird. Homelessness can look like a lot of different things. The main problem is we need support, and it's not you. It's not your fault. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you holding this space, and keep on pushing. If you have the Cash App, put it somewhere. I would love to support you. And yeah.
I appreciate you. I actually just took my Cash App off my profile before I went live, but I will add you in. I'll add you in the comments. I appreciate you.
All right, cool. No problem. Y'all be blessed up here. If you're gonna talk crazy in the comments, I may come for your neck. But you feel me? Let's be good. Y'all be blessed.
It's all good. Thank you.
Come for your folk.
Ain't it though? That's what's real. Let me go back into the comments real quick. If you would post something in the comments so I can reply to you, that would make it easier. The transit guy, hello. Malice, oh hey Drew, right on, thank you. Boop. And this is my Cash App and my Venmo, by the way. All right, got it. Right on.
Yes,
Joel,
Gianna.
get the fuck
People
out of
believe
here.
that.
Did you?
People
I
do
don't
believe
know.
that.
Hang on, CJ. I don't know if you saw it, but Joel just came back and followed me. Joel, fuck off. I needed to get out my coins. It's all good. Oh, go ahead, CJ.
No, Gianna had asked a question in the comments. Do people truly believe shelter, food, water is not a fundamental human right? I mean, honestly, at this point, internet is should be basic. Like we should have that. Everybody needs internet now. You can't do anything without the internet now. Yeah, basic human rights. Like we should have these things. Like, Jasmine Sherman 2024. And
Jasmine Sherman 2024. And what is it? What that girl say? She said, whenever I'm feeling down, I just ask myself, what would Megan the Stallion do? And then I go, ah.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yes. In Houston, you stand in line all day for nothing. I actually heard about Houston. They have like a centralized type of resource center or collection or whatever. And like people will stand in line all day, including in heat like this. And like they'll run out of the supplies that they brought for the day. And it's really sad. Also, do what?
Phoenix like that. So it's like the zone is in like the capital center area, and like behind that is the like where the like shelter is and all the like human service buildings. And like a lot of people choose the zone because there's so many rules in a shelter. But yeah, it's all like they run out. Like there's been times there's no ice. It was 125. like weed. They were just like, here's all the warm bottled water. I passed out once. Like, it's wild. Yeah.
Warm water is better than no water, but people should have the dignity and access of cold water when it's hot.
I had no
So if you
idea how
have,
important body temperature control was until
yeah, literally. Hang on. So I want to address some comments. So if you have an empty house, would you want insane drug addicts living in it? Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Those insane
Yes,
drug addicts
I
already
would
live
want
there.
people to have housing. Maybe they wouldn't be insane
Why
drug addicts
not?
if they had
So
shelter.
let's go. First of all, is like to try to even word it like that. Insane drug addicts or shit like that. Those are the people that are pretty much already in housing. You know, they work on like Wall Street and shit like that, and make those are the guys. Those are the insane drug addicts. Yeah, they're already in the house.
It's like, do people forget that American Horror Story is about a fucking like psychopathic killer that works for Wall Street? So you're okay with that crazy ass white man killing people having a house, but you don't want a fucking poor person to have a house, bro?
When I was on the droogs, I was definitely in the house. Not when I was out there. I had to pay attention.
Yeah, for real. Or in Congress. All right, we're gonna welcome somebody to the panel. They have a Palestine thing. Hello,
Mommy. Hi, yeah, Mommy Phoenix. Hi. Thank you for having me on here. I am a mother of 3, and I've been homeless since 2020. I was illegally evicted, even though I was supposed to be protected from the CARES Act. And I got an eviction on my record. And so when I tried to get another place or rent somewhere, I was unable to because of this eviction. So my family and I, we were evicted on 3 days before Christmas on December 22nd, 2020. We were on a list. We were evicted from public housing. We had come from a domestic violence shelter. We were fleeing domestic violence from my ex-husband. He severely hurt me, and so
Phoenix, you don't have to get into it if you don't want to. Okay.
I just don't want to say anything that's going to get you flagged. So I'm trying to be selective with my words. No, I want to say it so that people are aware of what's going on, because a lot of people don't have empathy for the homeless. A lot of them see them and they're like, oh, they assume that they don't want to work, or they assume that they're there for, that they're on substances or whatnot. My kids and I have struggled so hard, and it's heartbreaking because I am aware of what's going on right now, and that our country is sending all of our money overseas to do terrible things to other children and families, when the amount of money that we've sent to Israel in the past 9 months has been enough money to completely eradicate homelessness in the United States. It would only take $20 billion to completely wipe out homelessness in the entire United States of America. But yet we are using that to send over to them to do the atrocities that they're doing. I don't want to get you flagged, like I said, but
okay, so hang on a second. We don't sugarcoat anything.
Well,
the United States government is sending money to Israel so they can commit war crimes and ethnic cleansing against the people of Palestine.
And not just Palestine, but that's just one example, and while I live, the city I live in just got sued because of the amount of homeless people that were on the streets. They were being sued by the residents and by the business owners because it was too much. And so when we got evicted in 2020, I used my income taxes to buy a old beat down motorhome. Had no electricity, it was completely gutted. So basically we were able to use it as storage. We put a bed in there. You can't park it on the streets. Anywhere we would try to park it, we would get, the police would get called on us. I had it towed several times. So what we decided to do is, I live in a desert area. So we found like an isolated area. We drove the motorhome into the desert and hid it behind, some trees and bushes. And we would boil water on a campfire so that we could take baths. And we would cook on a campfire every night. We got accepted. We did that for quite a while. And then finally was accepted into a homeless shelter where my kids and I went to stay. And then from there, they sent us to another homeless shelter. And then we were allowed to stay there for 30 days until we were kicked back out on the streets. So then we went back into the motorhome where I was able to find like a kind man who owned a little like a corner market store, convenience store. He let us park the motorhome on his property in the parking lot so that we wouldn't get towed until we were able to get into another homeless shelter. So we're currently waiting. We got picked up by a nonprofit who's going to help us get into a place because basically what they're going to do is they're going to offer an incentive for a landlord to accept me because I have that eviction on there, and nobody wants to rent to me because I have this eviction. I could work all I want, but what do you do if nobody accepts your application? And, being homeless, I don't have money to go get a lawyer. I've tried to get the free lawyer. I can't jump through the hoops that they'll have me fill out an application and say, okay, now you got to call and talk to one of our people. And then you call, they won't accept any of the calls. So there's just a wall after wall after wall. And what do you do when you need somewhere for your kids to go and you need to feed them? It's heartbreaking. And I was told that America is the best place to live. We have all this money and they're sending it away to do these horrible things. It's heartbreaking. I just don't know how things are going to continue this way. It's terrible. And to know that they could easily have fixed this, that we have the money for it, but they're just allotting it. They're sending it elsewhere. It just makes no sense to me. That money is supposed to be to help Americans, and it needs to be America first, especially when what is that money doing but just causing more devastation to other families? I mean, it would be different if they were sending that money and it was helping, poor kids that don't have anything to eat. At least I would feel somewhat good about it. But to know that they don't care, and then to see, our media just completely only giving one narrative, it's terrible. It's heartbreaking. And then, I'm being called, I'm being slandered, my defamation of character, because I am a Palestinian supporter. So I turn on the news and I see all these representatives saying Palestinian supporters are cesspool, and they should go over, and basically gave us a death sentence by saying they wanted to send us over to Gaza.
Well,
It's just
there's
ridiculous.
hello, Count Dracula. I love that. And hello to the people that came in. Hello, AJ, if you're still here. Hello, Rich. Hello, everybody. Um, so there's this whole narrative of like, if the bombs don't get you, the people will. But like, it's also like trying to depict Palestinians as savages. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but like that's what they're trying to do because I
Right.
get that too. It's like constantly pushing this thing of how like, oh, black people and queer people and blah 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 aren't welcome in Palestine, when actually that's not true. Like Palestinians fucking love black people. And Palestinians don't care if you're queer because even if they did, they're too busy getting bombed to give a fuck about what you're doing.
And honestly, in my opinion, it's like it doesn't even matter. Even if they didn't agree with people who were queer, that doesn't justify what's being done to them.
Right.
If you haven't,
Solidarity isn't transactional. They
right.
don't have to like us or anything about us to be like, hey, they shouldn't have war crimes committed against them.
Absolutely.
And then we educate ourselves and learn that this shit's been going on for almost 100 years. You're kidding me.
Right. I just found out and it breaks my heart. I feel so guilty, because even though me and my family have been going through it, I honestly have been looking at what's going on in Palestine, and I'm so grateful that I'm not going what they're going through, because you know what? After every day, we get to lay our heads down, and we get to sleep without having to worry about being blown into pieces. It's and I feel some guilt about it. I just wish there were more I could do.
It's like, and we also shouldn't downplay our own problems because we do have a huge domestic terrorism problem. And some of that domestic terrorism is government funded. And like, I feel like what happened on Saturday really put things into perspective for some people, but for some people it still hasn't, right? But like, the United States has a huge domestic terrorism problem. And like, goodness knows where this is going to land us next. But I do see some people, in the comments. Ryan and I, so for those of you who are confused, Ryan and I have actually talked before. Ryan, I don't know if you recognize me or not. I don't even remember how well my face was visible the last time you saw me, but I am the black wife effect person. That you like tried to call fat or whatever. So, unless you're gonna get up here and turn on your camera so we can see you, you're not coming up. Because and I like y'all give me a second. I would like you said that your profile picture is you, but that could be anybody. I don't know that. So I tell you what, if y'all let Ryan up, y'all mute him immediately and wait for him to turn on his camera. If he doesn't turn on his camera, drop him. Or you can choose not to let Ryan up because I know he has nothing constructive to say. Because he wanted to call me insecure and call me fat. So yeah, Ryan Bordeaux can stay in the chat if y'all would rather he stay down there. But I'm gonna let y'all decide. I vote not to let him up. What's up?
I want to do whatever you want to do because it sounds like fun.
I know, right? But we do have one vote to not let him up, and I will respect that. I'll run. I'm rolling to the store right on. You'll turn on your camera, but I respect your choice. Nah, it's up to y'all. If we have one vote, I vote nah. Okay. So that's 2 no. Ryan, you're not very popular. We have 2 no's. But I think there is somebody else in the requests. Oh, there was, but they left. Okay. Anywho. We are, I vote no. Okay. I go no, waste of time. Okay. All right, Ryan, looks like you're not popular. Better luck next time, my friend. And I do want to take this opportunity to say thank y'all so much for 16.3K likes. And I also want to give Phoenix a chance to, that was a lot. We're all doing a lot right now. So let's just take this opportunity to cool down. If we get to 20K likes, I'd sure appreciate it. Please do tap that screen. Also, you have the option to subscribe. You can gift me, you can gift the panelists. You can also join the team. Oh shit! As soon as I talked about the goal, it just timed out. That means I've been on live for quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like I've been on live for this session has been 2 hours and 30 minutes, and my previous session was an hour and 30 minutes. So I've been on live for a bit actually. Um, so take responsibility for your situation in life. Hey, Paul, you've rolled through here like 15 fucking times. I just sent an invitation to our most recent hater, Gen X Aunt Cat. But yeah. So, oh, here we go.
Hello, how are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Good.
Good. So, please elaborate on your comment.
Depends on how you got homeless. When I was homeless in my life, it was truly through my own actions of being an addict. So you can't blame the government. You can't blame the government where people have to take responsibility.
Ma'am, please stop talking over me. If you are truly a woman of Christ, you should have some decorum. Oh, wait, never mind. I just learned about how the Bible talks a lot about rape and how women are property. So anyway, Hillary, hang on a second. So, do you know that drug addicts are also housed?
Am I allowed to speak or am I still waiting?
Oh, you're allowed to speak. Go ahead.
No, not all drug addicts are housed. No.
You know that there are some drug addicts that are housed?
If they have a dual diagnosis, usually they will get housed, yes.
Do you know that Kelly and Jack Osborne were drug addicts and they never had to worry about being homeless?
Well, I didn't come from a family of the Osbournes, so I wouldn't be able to identify with that.
Did you know that?
Did you not hear my story at all?
Wait, hang on.
I don't do any drugs.
No, I just
Phoenix?
came in. I'm sorry.
Stop. Yeah, a Gen X actually did just come in, so no, Gen X hasn't heard anybody's anything. So do you know that Trump Jr. is a drug addict and he's also housed?
Again, I can't identify with that because I wasn't born into a family with money.
Oh, so it's money that makes you homelessness, not drugs.
What? No, to be able to stay housed while you have a problem, if you have a family behind you that's going to finance that, then yes.
So money. So it's not drugs and alcohol, it's being able to afford housing, correct?
No, because the majority of people don't come from situations like the Osbournes and the Trumps.
No, so you're not listening to what I'm saying, on
you're going to have to clear this up. I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not confused. You just don't want to face the fact that housing only has to do with being able to afford housing. It has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol. Because there are people who are on drugs and alcohol that have housing. Hey, Leviathan.
So you can't prescribe your personal experience to the lot of everybody and say that you can't blame the government when in all actuality, housing is a basic need. No one should have to, like, if you are an addict, like, right? And I'm not trying to discredit, I'm just saying, I'm not talking about you specifically. If you're an addict, you should still be housed. That's the point. You can't prescribe your personal experience to everybody.
Yeah, but unfortunately, when people are drug addicts, if you're going to be housed in a shelter, especially if you're still...
So we're not talking about shelters. We're talking about housing. And shelters are not housing. Shelters are very much a Band-Aid on a temporary situation. I mean, a temporary Band-Aid on a long-term situation. So just
I'm confused. Like, is it homelessness under a certain umbrella? I'm just confused at what version of home.
You're not confused about anything. You're just being obnoxious and trying to deny the fact that capitalism is why people are homeless. It has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol, boo. Dutch, go ahead.
Where'd she go?
I wanted to jump on the side.
She got tired of getting muted. Oh, go ahead, Dutch.
I just wanted to try to do it because she was trying to jump to the thing. If you have money kind of thing, that's literally not an excuse at all. There's plenty of people that are just, middle class, lower class, that still are able to have housing because it's not about drug abuse or alcohol abuse at all. Alcohol, first of all, is like literally the most acceptable. Our society is built on it being a part of our fucking, normal thing. We celebrate with alcohol and shit like that. So if you're going to celebrate with something, then call it the problem of why you're fucking houseless, doesn't exactly make any sense. It's not the alcohol addiction. There could be other things. It's literally just an excuse to punch down.
That was why I wanted to come on here and share my story, because like I said, I think that most people associate homelessness, like I said from the very, very beginning, with either people being lazy and not wanting to work or with substance abuse, when really there's so many other aspects that are combined with that. And it's up to our government to, like, there should be no reason with the amount of money that we spend in taxes, that they take from us collectively in taxes, for us to be dealing with the problems that we're dealing with. They get if we were the teachers and they were the students, and we had to grade them on their on how efficient they were at doing their job, they would get a F. They failed. They have failed the United States. And honestly, not a lot of people are aware of, if we're going to talk about economics, not a lot of people are aware of what BRICS is. And recently, it's going to be coming out really soon, like they're going to start the first phases, I believe they're going to roll it out at the end of October, which comes around what time? The election time. And it's going to be total chaos here. But once the BRICS rolls out, it's going to de-dollarize our United States dollar. And we are $34 trillion in debt. So that means our dollar is worth negative $34 trillion. We're going to be in a really big world of hurt, because nobody's going to want to work if money is worthless. And how are we going to make food? It's going to be total chaos.
I'd like to interject if I could.
Hang on. So three people want to talk. So first I saw Dutch unmute, and then I saw Hillary in the chat, and then you unmuted. So we're going to do Dutch, Hillary, and then I'm sorry, the thing is blocking your name.
You can call me Max.
No, not Illusion. That's you, Max. First of all, let's welcome Max to the panel. Hello, Max. I am so sorry about that. You've been incredibly patient.
Oh no, that's fine. Thank you.
Right on. Hey, if for those of you in the chatter box down there, if you don't like the live, you can keep scrolling. It's no skin off my nose. We're good. We're having a great conversation. And also, I will turn on sub only chat because I run this live, not you. And I also don't want to get too far into BRICS, because I feel like after everything we've done to the countries who are signing up for that shit, we deserve it. So what I say, Dutch, Hillary, and then Max? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay, Dutch, go ahead.
I think, I wanted to cut short the BRICS thing too, just because it's a whole other issue, and we know that's why actually we see a lot of other things popping up that we're trying to do with getting in between Taiwan and China. That's a lot of other things. One of the things I did want to bring up though, Mommy, when you were talking about your story, is it's the money. Oh, I just got hit with a flag. Actually, I'm gonna drop. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. That's weird that Dutch just got flagged. He didn't even say anything.
I don't know how weird it is. He has haterade in his copy a lot, my friend. People pick on him.
Well, go ahead, Hillary.
All I wanted to say was, I just want to reiterate this again for anyone who missed it. When I was in my active addiction, I was housed, okay? When I was in recovery, that was when I was homeless. Like, these are these stereotypes people want to go off of to say it's like some kind of personal failure. So I really, really want to stress that, okay? These personal anecdotal stories where you're blaming yourself or whatever, it's just punching down, which is what Dutch said. Like, so I just really want to stress it's about, like, I'm sorry, I got distracted by the comment. That's why I hate looking at them. Like, I really want to stress, like, these arguments are so redundant at this point.
All right, so real quick, now the next quick, I kind of forgot a lot of this stuff. But, Mommy, the one thing I wanted to bring up is, like, we always talk about, like, the money that's sent over to Israel and shit like that. Is that would be money that's not even, like, used. They would say we can't be allotted for us or so. But what is sent over there, too, it's funny that most people don't know, is that Israel's people are free housing, free education. They get all the benefits of the things that they say we can't have here. They're given there. So it's funny that that's not, possible here somehow. It's literally being sent to do those things to make sure that we don't have them here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm really aware of that, and it's sickening because we're no longer the United States of America. We are now the United States of Israel, and it's so apparent.
We've always been that, like, because that's our little pet project.
I'm just now learning, honestly. Yeah. I didn't have any idea up until recently, and thank goodness for the social media platform, because I've learned so much, and I've really fell down the rabbit hole and then fell down another rabbit hole, and I've just kept going and going and going. And, that's why it's heartbreaking, because it's not that we don't have the means to fix the problems that we have. We absolutely have every single, we have the money for it, but it's just being sent to do the deeds, these war crimes.
But I want to say one last thing, and then I want to let Max go, because what I wanted to say with you is this is why I hate the drug stigmatism the most, is because I actually have another mutual on here just now also that has she lost her husband a year and a half ago. She has 5 kids that they had to move into a smaller place or so, and now CPS just came and took the kids away, and she's not at all using, she doesn't use drugs at all. And that's, of course, being one of the things that's saying that she can't have her kids back, because they're accusing her of being a drug addict that can't take care of the kids now too. So the stigma that, you can't have kids, when literally we've had both presidents in office now. Hunter Biden's got a problem. Trump was like, he's incontinent because of his Adderall use, and his sons, couldn't go on any interviews without it. So it's all shitty stigmatism.
Yeah, when I left my ex-husband, he was the main. I stayed home and took care of the kids. I was just a housewife. So when he beat me, I knew that I couldn't keep my kids there any longer. And now, not many people are aware, but if you have a domestic violence situation, and let's say I'm the victim of my ex-husband, domestic violence, and I call the police, and the police come out and they do the report, and then I don't leave, and there happens to be another incident, CPS will use that to take my kids away and say that I was aware that that was a domestic violence situation. And because I didn't leave, I subjected my children to being left in an unsafe situation, and they will consider that to be neglect and me putting my kids in harm's way, and use that as an excuse to take my children away. So that was one battle that we had to face, because I had nowhere to go. I don't have any family. I have nowhere. I have no one. I don't have anywhere. So we went to so we called the DV hotline. They did not have, all the shelters were full. What they did was they put us in a hotel room or a motel room, where we stayed for a couple of weeks until they had room in the DV shelter. So then once we went into the DV shelter, they have programs that will help homeless people. The problem is, in order to get onto one of those programs, you have to be homeless for 6 weeks first. So since we had just left the situation, and that's the day that we left our home was the first day that we became homeless. So I had 140, they gave us 4 months. 4 months in the DV shelter. So once that 4 months is up, what is it, 120 days? That was it. We got kicked out onto the streets. And so I had to wait 6 weeks there in the DV shelter just to apply to get onto any kind of housing program, for homeless housing program. So my kids and I ended up having to sleep in my truck. I had two in a car seat, and so my middle son was sitting in the middle of two car seats, and the rest of the vehicle was crammed with all of our belongings. So he went to school one day and he was falling asleep in class, and his teacher asked him, "Why are you falling asleep in class?" And he said, well, we're homeless and we're sleeping in our vehicle, and I can't lay down because there's nowhere to lay down. Luckily, the teacher got a hold of me and she said, "Look, normally I'm supposed to report this and they'll come take your kids away. And I know what the situation you're going into. So I'm letting you know that if this happens again, I'm going to have to report it." So what did I have to do? I had to send my son to live with his father so they wouldn't take my kids away. And then it took about 2.5 months for my application to be processed and for us to actually get into another shelter or to get any kind of housing. So, it's just, there's so much red tape and there's so many things that, and trying to make sure that your kids are safe, but then having to worry about that if anybody finds out, they're going to take your kids from you. And, it's just, it's stressful, and it's been a really rough 5 years. And I'm at the moment, I am planning on leaving the country. I don't want to be an American anymore. I don't want to live in America anymore. They're poisoning us with their food. It's just all bad. It's just all bad. And, I love everybody here, and I'm just trying to, I feel so much guilt that I'm just I'm going to do what I can until I leave to try to, educate people who are unaware of the things that they should be aware of until I go. So I feel like that's all I could really do.
I feel that. So there's been a lot of serious stuff shared. So we're gonna cool down for a second. Then I'm gonna let Max make Max's point. Thank y'all so much for 20K likes. Let's get to 25K likes. Thank y'all to the people who followed me and the people who are also following and gifting the panelists. We are at 72 shares. Let's get to 100 shares. Please share the live with anyone that you know so we can expand this conversation even further. And I'm going to also subscribe if you can, and get if you can. And then I'm gonna let Max have the floor. Go ahead, Max. You've been waiting very patiently.
I'm about to lay it down. You ready? So, basically, I like that report that 27.4 empty homes for each homeless person in the U.S. goes to show that we can definitely fix this very quickly. And the way to do this, in my opinion, is that we need to abolish capitalism. We need to make sure that there's no profit incentive in order to give someone a home or not. We need to make sure that people are getting homes no matter what. We need to make sure that homes being housed is a human right, as well as healthcare, as well as education, food, and clean water. And I think that there are many ways to get this done. If we go through the enormous amount of money that we give to the military, we can take that and we can definitely fund these programs in order to switch ourselves into this non-capitalistic system. And this would need to be done outside the means of voting It would need at least like a vanguard party or two, because you can't put out the fire from inside the house. One F-14 can feed 40 million people. It's 40 million lunches is the cost of an F-17 or F-14, whatever that plane is. So very, very easy to get this done in theory, but the way to get it done is to organize, is to disrupt, is to make sure that landlords know that they are not only raising these prices way too high for people, but they are leeching off of the worker, and they're holding you living comfortably and live like one of your basic needs for ransom. Thank you. Welcome to my TED
well
Talk.
said, Max. Here. Bash the fash. All landlords are bastards. All cops are bastards. Etc. Oh, free Palestine, free Congo.
Free Palestine, from the river to the sea.
So yeah, and I feel like that's the end of the BRICS thing, and we're gonna leave it at that. So yeah. Did anybody else request to come up? Okay, that dude left. All right, cool. So oh, hey, Jessica Rabbit. So I do want the conversation to get back on track. Hang on a second. Thank y'all so much for the lightning bolts. It's very shocking.
I see
Oh,
what
you know
did
what?
there.
What's going on, Dutch?
I was just saying, I see what you did there.
What?
It's very shocking.
Oh yeah. Hey, Tiana. Illusion, you haven't spoken in a while. What do you have anything you'd like to input on any of this?
I kind of have to agree with Maximov on this one. Although myself, I wouldn't consider myself a socialist. I do think that at some point, people in general will need to show up in force in some type of way. Something like this simply can't be voted against. Like I said, especially when you have people owning a dozen houses and the only thing that they can claim their ownership over it is their names on a piece of paper. That has to be taken by force. There's going to become a time, whether it's the next 10, 15 years, where you're going to see children starving on the street and they have nowhere to go. And it's going to come to a point where people are just going to go into a house and they're going to start living there because there's nothing else for them to do. That's just the way that we're going, unless we fix it now. But that's the inevitability.
Someone said Airbnb should be outlawed. Here. I will say that Airbnb does have lower thresholds of entry for people to be able to stay there. But that should be an issue that gets resolved on an infrastructure level, not like just letting Airbnb cover up that patch.
Could I ask Illusion, like you said you wouldn't consider yourself a socialist or anything, what do you consider yourself under then?
Myself, I think what would be the most appropriate would be liberal. If I can just give a brief summary of my stance, I think we should maximize every person's right to self-determination. We essentially are born with all the rights that we are supposed to have, right to self-defense, right to food, shelter, free speech. We're essentially granted all these rights just by being human. And so anything that would go ahead and allow people to express or to defend their freedoms to the fullest is a system that I defend. I've always considered myself liberal, Democrat. It's only up until recently that I see that solutions have to be a little bit, not that they have to be, that it's going to be coming to a radical conclusion. It has to be, because like I said, there's going to become a point in the next 10 years or so when you'll see hundreds of children out on the street starving, literally skins and bones starving, because
I would say we already do.
Yeah,
I would say that it's already here.
Exactly. Those things happen now already. So, I mean, I would like to hop on the fact of like the liberal Democrat things are absolutely not good things. First of all, the reason that all those things you're talking about being a problem and coming to a point of happening are because liberals and Democrats uphold that same system. They just kind of say, like, we've seen it for years, how they say that they want these different things, but, you know, Biden's hands are always tied every single time. Yeah, go ahead, Hillary.
I was asking Helios, but cool. Um, the Airbnb discussions, I think that's so important to lean into when we're talking about homelessness as a government failure. This is so true. I know people who want communal housing to say, hey, you need a place to relax. I have the space. Pay me what you can or don't pay me. They're absolutely willing to do this, and there's sites where you can do this, right? Airbnb absolutely guts them out, digs them out. If they try to do it on Airbnb, they get these wild charges, and so do the other people. I believe in axing Airbnb and sites like that too, because they make it like greedy hoarder wealth, and okay, you have one house, rent it, like, you know, I'm so with that. And they found ways to make it like so you can make people renters and have the ability to not give them any like squatters rights or anything, and like kick them in 72 hours. So like, yes, I'm fully for getting rid of Airbnb. Whoever said that in the comments, awesome.
I just wanted to say the problem with liberalism and the problem with being either conservative or Democrat is that it doesn't address the issues at the source. And what we would need to do is we would need to take a societal step back and actually look at the 40-something million people who are actually homeless at the moment. We need to see that, like, the thing is that what would drive a liberal, in my mind, to actually take up arms and to actually fight for people's human rights would be their societal class or socioeconomic class or standing would be attacked. We are already being attacked, but it's not white people. It's disproportionately BIPOC people. And just because it's them doesn't mean we shouldn't do anything. We got to do stuff now. We have to organize now. We have to give people homes now.
I agree. Illusion, you're more than welcome to respond. And like, also, like, these I've known these people for a while. These are very passionate people. So none of this is like, you know, this is very much like to you, not like at you. It's like a personal attack. It's just we all have like really strong political views around here. Like none of us are like Democrats or anything like that. So it's kind of like you just kind of walked into the lion's mouth on that one. So go ahead.
No, I mean, and you know, I would have to agree. I literally thought, you know, I'm only 30 years old, so I wouldn't say I'm that old. I'm not that young either, but I thought up until this point people were decent. People had common sense, but man, I mean, there is no justifiable reason to be raising rent $2,000 plus. The place that I'm at, I'm lucky enough to have it. I'm paying $2,300. I work 3 weeks out of the month just to pay this rent. And man, it's gonna suck when they raise it again. I'm not gonna be able to do anything. And I really thought that people would be more reasonable. There would be some sort of cutoff for profit margin. People wouldn't be that greedy, but it really seems this is anecdotal. If you go into almost any American house, you will see literally how much just useless things they have. People's garages filled with cardboard boxes, filled with old workout equipment, full of useless knickknacks. There is something inherently wrong with the way that Americans are that makes them greedy, that literally makes them hoard material. And I thought people were more reasonable than that, but apparently human nature is not that reasonable.
So that's not human nature. Capitalism and consumerism incentivize those things that you're talking about. Because if that was human nature, then that means that it would have been that way throughout all of the history of humankind. And we know that that's not it. Capitalism actually goes against human nature because it commodifies our basic needs and it causes people to do unnecessary suffering because it cuts off access to our basic needs.
I guess that's really the conclusion that I'm coming. I really thought people would have been able to fight that, to fight that capitalistic pressure, but apparently not.
It's not
It's
fighting it.
not
It's like,
that.
yeah.
Wait, so it's like, well, you have to consider that the capitalists who are successful now have the generational wealth to have literal, actual private armies.
And also, landlords don't do any work. They pay other people to do the work for them. They make other people workers and clean up the houses, fix the pipes and such. All they do is sit back and count their money. And they ransom these houses back to the people. They ransom them back.
Illusion, also look at what, hang on a second, Hillary. Illusion, also look at what, I'm sorry, Brendan said in the chat. And also Dutch unmuted first, so Dutch and then Hillary. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to also emphasize on that the human nature thing always bothers me because greed is not human nature. It's literally the symptom of capitalism. So it behooves you to step on the neck of somebody else to get ahead under this system. And it's not that people won't get up and fight for it. So is that, like, I always get the excuse of like evil. There's too many evil people. There's really not. There could be a handful of evil people. It's that most people just rather keep their head down and fly below the radar. And they'd rather not try to step up and like put themselves in the spot. That's the real problem. So they're willing to allow a lot of shit happen as long as it doesn't directly affect them.
I'm going to get pushback on that one because if everyone is poor and everyone's working themselves to death, how can you expect them to have energy to fight?
I can do that too, but like still it is like we've seen people can see the problems and they still won't step up because of that fear. Like I always talk about the 4 monkeys study they did a long time ago. It's this thing where they took 4 monkeys, put them in a room with a ladder and bananas at the top. Whenever one of the monkeys would try to climb up, they'd hose the other 3 down with freezing cold water, so they'd freak out and attack the one monkey. And then every time they would that one do, they would remove him, put a new monkey into the room, and at some point there would be 4 completely new monkeys. Not a single one of them has experienced trying to climb up that ladder and get hosed down, but every one of them stays right there and conforms to it. They don't even try to go up there because of the thought of what they've heard from the other monkeys maybe could be bad.
Well, yeah, but it is bad. Like the monkeys were hosed with water. Hey, Bree. Oh, who dropped?
Who did drop? Oh, mommy.
Oh, mine dropped. Okay, bye. Thank you for coming up. But yeah, Hillary, yeah, you and me to go next.
Okay, so I would say that consumerism is an American condition of imperialism and capitalism because, yes, you have that group mentality because communal is human nature. We know that. The rest is symptomatic, like you said. However, expecting the working ant to have the ability to fight, I don't know about that. That's a lot of energy. Why do we have the time and ability to do what we're doing? I do it when I'm off or on leave or on vacation. When do you do it? Like, you see, like, I feel like we're not giving people enough credit. Like this person we're talking to, I'm sorry, what do you go by, Illusion?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So you're talking about renting, so I'm guessing you work full time and stuff like that. You probably don't have as much time to like march against this and stuff as I might. So like I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, and you might believe in what I do, but you probably don't have as much time to like dig a garden for the community as I do. So like that would be my like devil's advocate fight to Dutch. But like all I was really gonna say was a lot of what Dutch said, except I would have probably left that part out.
I mean, to the fighting part to me still, those people that you're talking about like don't have as much time. It's not all just on the fact that they just can't do anything. It's that a lot of them do see it. They do see it, but they want to keep that little bubble instead. They're fine with it. They're fine with making something they can complain about and then make it someone else's problem, rather than like actually step up because they're more comfortable with the little like things that they do have. At least I still got Netflix. At least I can watch poor people. I can punch down still.
People have to disrupt. Like nothing got changed in this country by non-disruption. People think it's like people in ivory towers writing down laws that get things done. But when the civil rights movement happened, it was vanguard parties, and it was people walking in the streets, blocking you from getting to your job. It was people not working for certain businesses, going on strike. It is disrupting the system. It is making it hurt. Capitalism hurt.
And I'm not saying civil unrest isn't important. There's Black Panthers all over my videos. I'm one of those frontliners. I'm just saying that not everybody that supports us is probably going to be and might have more learning to do. That would be my thing. They might agree with us, but they might not be the full ones on the right side of, they might not be all the way on the right side of history yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's multiple avenues in the revolution. I think there's multiple roles people can take. Me, I'm in school to be an educator, so I plan on being educating the masses. That's what I really want to do, and like get out, get organized in that way. But yeah, I feel like there's multiple roles in the revolution, and I feel like everyone can do their little a little bit here, a little there. If they're like trapped in a capitalistic, hole of where they need to like work paycheck to paycheck and such. But people can find the time. Some people have nothing but time. Some people don't have jobs, and we gotta we have to educate. We gotta organize. We gotta disrupt.
Yeah, and I feel like the demonization of unemployment definitely came from like Republican rhetoric. Although I'm sure the backstory behind that is much deeper, but like the demonization of unemployment, I feel like is a deterrent from people trying to educate themselves because they're too busy trying to run all over themselves to try to get jobs to educate. CJ, I see you. I'm definitely coming from the exhaustion angle. There is something to be said. People who are too exhausted to fight should not be left out. And it's like, I saw Dutch said something about fear mongering in the chat. Like the fear is real though, right? Like there are like fucking police officers with fucking tanks. Like, it's easier to keep your head down and not have to worry about the police busting in on your ass, to be honest with you. But we need to understand, we need to collectively understand, and we're getting to this point. This isn't nihilism at all. We are getting to this point. There is a collective consciousness and a collective understanding growing that they'll send the tanks if they want to, regardless of what we do. So we may as well get out there and throw down. CJ, go ahead.
I just wanted to tell y'all the conversation that I've been listening to for the last hour has been great. I had to leave and come back, and I just wanted to drop down because now I have to fully adult. It's dinner time. So
okay.
I'm just going to drop down. I wanted to say thank you all for sharing all of the experiences because honestly, I wouldn't have known all this stuff if you guys and gals had not had not shared with me. So I definitely appreciate all of y'all's time and the things that y'all have shared because y'all have educated me on a lot of stuff when it comes to being homeless. Because I didn't realize that at one point in time in my 20s that I too was homeless. And when you consider the factors of me not having electricity and having to go to my mom's house, like me not having a place in between time and having to sleep on somebody's couch, right? So I didn't even realize that was homelessness. I didn't know that. So thank you again, but I'm going to drop, like I said before. I love you guys.
Love you too,
CJ. And all that.
All right, I have to leave as well. Thank you, thank you guys. Have a good one.
For sure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
For sure. Thank you. And y'all please do come back next time. I'm also going to go because it is dinner time and I'm also going to go somewhere. And I do want to acknowledge what you said, Hillary. You're almost 40. You can't build forever. I feel like we're a group that is so much less adverse to passing on the torch, right? But it seems to be hard for us to find people to pass the torch on to, but it's not. It really isn't. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there. There's always going to be people who are going to want to take the torch. It's not hard to pass on the torch. It's just we want this feeling of having the personal connection of who we're passing on the torch to. But putting ourselves out there is very much passing an invisible torch. Like, we don't need to be mentors. We can be inspirations. And I'm gonna go ahead and end the live on that. Dutch and or Hillary, do y'all have anything that y'all want to end us off on?
Yeah, sure. I already faced the tank, dang it. Like, I ain't gonna keep doing it. I'll do it when the time comes.
Okay.
Nah, I'm playing. I love you. It was good to see you. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Dutch, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, on par with that, passing on the torches, the one thing I do feel hopeful for is with, like, Gen Z has been the first time I have seen, like, these kids are coming up and actually, like, see these things, want to, and I just don't want us to, like, just do the same thing that they did to us before. It was like we had these hopes and they just beat us down into the system instead. Let's keep this going strong, actually. And thank you for having me, as always.
For sure. Y'all make rapists and racists afraid again. I'll see y'all next time.